Sorry I'm late, guys. I'm getting in my motos.
You had to get your motos in?
Well, we had 9 inches of rain yesterday, and I thought
Couldn't get a moto in then?
if I was ever going to, take on Keith Bowen or somebody from the Michigan Mafia.
You need to be ready. You got to do it in the rain.
That helmet says 3X. Does that mean it's 3 times too small for your head?
It was a medium, man.
Can you try that one on, Nick? Look at my fast house.
Is that a 30XL?
You remember when Bailey was on and he was talking about just cool gear? Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring my junk, my fast house stuff. And you know what bums me out? People that are just sellouts.
Like somebody that
just wear stuff.
Everything they have,
everything
head to toe.
they're wearing
Okay.
head to toe is like sellouts, like Wayne and Garth. Remember that?
Yeah.
So we're not beholden to anybody. A big shout out to Fast House. We're not at all.
Yeah, nobody's going to
obligated.
come in here.
We don't put product
No.
placement.
Yeah,
Not at
nobody's
all.
going to be talking
Not
about
at
faster
all.
minis, but I would like to thank them for the shirt.
Correct. And Fast House for the gear and the socks.
Yeah.
These are Fast
And
House.
dude, you can't tell it, but there's some silky smooth.
Those are good looking socks.
You know what
feet
I
in
like
there.
about my Fast House shirt?
What do you
Tell me
like
about your Fast House shirt.
The letters on the shirt are in perfect, like the
planetary alignment?
from my nipples.
For your nipples. They don't
Oh,
grind
that's
on your
rare,
nipples.
dude.
Them things will burn some
Like
nipples
the
up, dude.
the spacing for my nipples.
The
is-
space-time continuum
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
across there is a perfect 361
They'll make
degrees.
a custom shirt. You just have to send them nipple
Some
measurements.
nipple measurements.
They have the nipple thing they send with the
Nippleizer.
order. Yeah, the nippleizer.
I didn't even have to send them because my nipple measurements are online.
Well, they're standard also.
People
they're
can
just
just find
known.
them.
It's under your bio.
Would you like Blackman set up like you can get the bar height?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
The
Brock Glover
Blackman
bend
bend.
or the nipple bend.
Oh, I run
get
a
the nipple bend for
971
the
Fast
shirt.
House, man. I mean,
That's
what are you
right.
talking about?
They're like, I need a T-shirt and I want to get the Blackman nipple
Nipple
spacing.
setup spec. The nipple spec.
Nipple spec. For,
You get less arm pump if you've got the Blackman spec on
And
your
them
nipple
nipples.
spacing,
Listen, if you want big nipples that just poke out all the time,
like Jennifer Aniston or somebody.
yes. So those don't just happen.
Not that I've noticed.
If you wear a cheese grater that constantly is taking the length off of them, then that's what's going to happen.
That's 100%. That means
that's
you're
science.
Yeah,
that's
your
why you
plug-
get your shirt set up perfectly.
So they don't cheese
Yeah, and it
grade them
quits
things out.
cheese
Get that
grating it.
length, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if the black part was on my nipples, it would
It's
throw
done.
it like
You'd
The
have
world
would be
you would
in
have
balance.
Oriental
you're
nipples.
never coming back from that.
Yes, they would be so oriental. I mean, people would be like, "Hey, dude, I know you bombed Pearl Harbor," and you'd be like, "Just because my nipples are perfect
Yeah, that's right.
doesn't mean anything."
None of that makes sense.
That's exactly what we were looking for.
Yes. And hey, welcome to Winner's Take, y'all. I know some folks are just now jumping on in terms of like listening to the show. It's dumb. I hope you can realize that. And not a lot of race analyzation. We will do some. Like,
Some,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that's also we're the worst sponsor.
We're not done with our sponsors.
No.
I know
in
we
fact,
went in, but we went in a Fast House and we wound up on a whole nipple conversation.
well, but we were
Well,
talking.
they
That's
need
how
to
awesome they
know.
are. It's details.
But
Their shirt
if
is
you're
so
buying- if you're-
dialed nipple-y.
Dude,
by
will
that's-
not
listen.
cheese grade the length off your nipples.
you know, there's this chain of stores that, in case they ever sponsor us, I don't want to talk too bad about them, but
Kohl's?
it rhymes with Cycle Gear, and everybody in there is a,
Right, it sounds a lot like that.
it sounds a lot like
Very
Cycle
similar.
Gear. You know, everybody that works in there is like a motorcycle. I mean, they're just genius. You know, Cycle
That's
Gear.
wure the true experts of
yeah,
motorcycles
but, I mean, they got more experts in Cycle Gear than in Hiram
than
than
like factory Honda.
yeah than Pro Circuit ever thought about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
they're just
I
so
agree.
good. And so one day I was riding around buying zeros because
I was on the phone when you were having this
your
conversation.
triple zeros. You have to I had to go around.
It's hard to find a bunch of zeros.
I just collect zeros. Right?
And you happen to run a 000 on your bike.
Yes.
So it's
And
just a coincidence.
I'm on the phone with Kevin
Mm-hmm.
in this plethora of experts at Cycle Gear. And he's like, dude, I think I had a Fast House T-shirt on.
And you were looking
like
at
I
Fast
was.
House jerseys. You're like, hey, man, are these on sale? He goes, yeah, those are on sale.
Yeah, the dude said, these Fast House jerseys are on sale for $25.
And I'm on the phone. I'm like, don't let him say this, because I could hear what he was saying, but finish your conversation.
And the guy says, well, Fast House is a beer company. They just got into motorcycle.
what the heck?
I'd never heard that in my life.
Well-
and I totally went along with him and kept.
I was like, no, it's not.
Kevin's screaming and Nick's eardrums blown out.
I'm pulling it out of him, going, "Really, man?
I
That's
love
cool.
Fast
That's
House
awesome.
beer, man.
The Fast House beer." And he's
Well, he's
just
talking about 805 beer, and I guess the guy thinks, well, man, we sell beer. I mean, what? That's a natural
Is the
progression.
805 like Murrieta and
It's all
Temecula?
California, yeah.
and he was going on, and Kevin's in my ear going, "No, it's not. It's not."
No.
I sent Fonzie a text, who's one of the owners. I'm like, dude, I didn't know you guys were a beer company and then a motorcycle gear company second. I did not.
Can you work on training
Kevin
your
got
cycle
so
gear
mad I had to
employees?
go back inside and slap that dude.
Go
Yeah.
back and hit that guy.
Hey.
Fix it.
Freaking A, and you know
Fix
it
it.
straightened it out. Because if you're on the receiving end of a Blackman slap,
I would all Sopranos on him. I was like, Kevin said, don't you ever make a mistake like that again, bitch.
yeah. Fast House is a gear company first and
Yes.
foremost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beer
so
secondary.
We do have some sponsors, John. If you want to run down those guys, everything's skins.
Well,
If it's
yeah.
got skin in it, we're in it.
And I don't know if we were attracted to the skins or if the skins found us.
I played skins in basketball.
But
Always.
it
Take the shirt
started with
off.
helmet skins, and you know what a better product. I mean, there's nothing better. It's
I
like
got one in my bag right
just
now.
and
We've already
that
proven
survived
that.
the fire.
Yeah, it was in my bag. Thank God it was in my truck.
Yeah, God, if you would have lost that. But you know, between helmet skins, lever skins, I mean, all the elements of hardcore wear on a bike, we got that covered. Rhino skins, you know, say you're riding a 2-stroke and you foul a plug.
Slater
Nothing
skins.
better than taking off 3/4 of the motorcycle to get to the plug.
Absolutely.
Which the modern bikes are like that.
Guess
you know,
whose bike is cleanest of them all? If you've got the rhino skin, Slater skins.
Yeah, exactly.
Pork
you know,
skins?
pork skins is another one, like an often overlooked high intensity, like carb and protein building diet for high end motocrossers. You
And
know?
Lambskin's a long-time sponsor of mine who we brought on.
Yeah, I would say going on
That's old school
40
right there.
years right now, maybe more than 40,
I would say probably the
43 years.
Middle Ages, if we want to be honest with you. They were the first to debut the lambskin.
And inside those Fast House socks is some feet that have been thoroughly prepped by Skintimate lotion.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just incredible. You know that the skins found us.
Yep.
I don't think we've
Foreskins,
searched for it.
lambskins,
Skin on skin or it ain't going in.
skin on skin.
Skin on skin.
Big Fireball Watkins here,
Mm-hmm.
pulling down that handle of Fireball again. Nick will probably jump in there.
Nick
at some
likes for
point.
you to chunk it at him.
Yep.
You don't
that-
have to clean up if it busts.
I thought the whole time, the reason I even made a big deal about it, I thought that was glass.
No, this is
Okay.
plastic,
Plastic.
but they one size up from this. It has a handle. It truly is a handle, and it's
Yeah.
glass.
That's awesome.
They should send us some with our next sponsorship package from Fireball.
I know. I agree with that. I
Which
we're
did
running
learn
low.
you can get a Fireball keg, and we're gonna set that kegerator up down here with a Fireball keg.
that's gnarly. That'd be good for us. That'll help our health.
Plus, it'll get it out of my garage.
Yeah, and I want to say, I want to start putting some races and into your schedule. Like the first big one that we're probably all going to be at is going to be Day in the Dirt. I talked to Fonzie. He asked me today,
Yeah,
"Hey,
but
are you
tell me the
announcing
date
that?
on that.
Day in the Dirt's like right around 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th, or something like that." And
Is it the
March.
after
But no,
Daytona
'cause
Supercross or before?
hold on, let's
let's.
solve
But
this
but for
right
real,
now.
we also have the Southeast Vintage Motocross Winners
Day in
Take
the Dirt-
Y'all
Day in
event.
the Dirt is 8th, 9th, and 10th.
I believe that's the weekend after
Daytona.
the
And then
SCVMX race.
Daytona, which we will be at, is on the 2nd. I'm announcing that. And then Day in the Dirt, I'll be announcing that. We will all be there. We're going to get Kyle to go down.
We have a
there.
lot of conflicts.
That's
coming.
back to back. And then
So we're hiring.
Spring a Ding is after that. That's 3 weekends in a row.
Where's Springading?
That's in Texas.
way the
I
heck.
don't think that's quite your deal.
Why?
No, it's not.
It's
It's
look,
like-
if
it's
it's like
hard.
the most elite motocross, you don't. I mean, I'm not Nick's.
Nick's
see the way
like,
he's looking
what
at
are
me?
you trying to say?
He's dead serious. What do you mean? Why?
Why would they not want
The
me
fuck?
there?
What? Tell me what.
You know what
what's the
Spring a Ding it is, dude?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
we'll race it.
problem? Do you get it? Can you sign up?
Oak Hill. Yes, Oak Hill. Spring a Ding Ding. That's
Which is that
so it's
still
Daytona?
Craig? Is that
No, it's totally different. It's been changed hands from
Oh,
Craig
okay.
to the McCoys,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
now
I'm out of touch.
A new owner from
I'm
California.
Dude,
out of
I
time.
have raced with Mike Brown in the last 12 months.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Nick's
He
gonna-
only let me twice.
so Nick will see you at Daytona as will I.
As an
The
RCSX
Day in the Dirt
competitor.
That is 100%. You have to do that.
Yeah, Day in the Dirt.
And then of course Spring a Ding.
Day in the Dirt is a party where a motocross race breaks
Is
up.
Randy Richardson the only one that rides a vintage motorcycle at Day in the Dirt, or are there other people?
No, there's other dudes. They
have
have vintage
no idea.
classes.
They have
Oh, okay.
they have some old bike
They have the
classes.
smoking.
Oh, that's when you
The
took
smo-
the 86.
Yeah, they
That's
got the
right.
smoking fire classes. There's a couple of classes.
I took
believe.
that 86 KX 125 literally with no rear shock. Like you could push it
No
down.
nitrogen. Just
Tim
very-
King won
just stayed
Mid Ohio on a 79 YZ250 that was blown to bits, sitting on the bottomed out nothing,
Oh.
and he won. He was
It can
flying.
be done. It can
no
be done.
shock on the back.
So on tonight's show, we do have Austin Forkner, just to let you guys know if you want to skip through all this dumb stuff and get to Austin.
But how
by
could
all
you
means.
really want to skip through this? I mean, this is what matters right here. Us.
No, it doesn't.
I'm kidding.
No, but hey, we did move some bikes up so you guys could see the bikes we were talking about. The
Yep.
what year? 89.
This is an 89. This is the first year of upside down forks on Honda's CR250.
Are they cartridge forks?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think they are.
I thought that was 93.
That thing looks
You think
brand
so?
new.
You might be right.
I thought 93 was cartridge. So,
You're probably.
but this was a motorcycle owned by a guy named Jason Grogan. They called him Flash Grogan. That was kind of his nickname. And he was an A-class, local A-class guy. This bike has been ridden 5 times. He broke his ankles on it on the 5th ride at whatever down there.
Did it go to
High
Loretta's?
Falls.
Did it go to Loretta's?
No, not this one. I don't think this.
Did he
'cause
do it at
He
the-
did well
on
at
the
Loretta's, right?
I have no idea.
Devil's
We never
Double
ran
at
him
High
through
Falls?
Damn Devil's
the vault.
He
He
did
was
all
down there at Devil's Doubles at High Falls.
Really?
I think he stepped
That's
off
what
the
they
back of
called
the
it.
bike and broke both ankles.
That's what they called it. That big ass jump.
Yeah.
I think somehow he came off the back of the bike.
Then you had Duke's Corner. Remember that at Whitesburg?
Jukes. Where's up at Jukes Corner?
Duke's Corner.
Is that named after the man, the myth,
No,
the
it's
legend?
named after the mayonnaise.
Or is it
They'd
the
sling.
Duke boys?
The guy that was flagging would just
He'd sling the
mayo
General
at
Lee
you.
sideways.
No,
is
he'd
it?
sling mayo at you.
Dude. I mean,
Or it could be named after Sean Duke.
that'll
more than
spoil, you know, like if you keep putting
Speaking of
mayonnaise
Duke's
in the
Corner,
dirt.
they had a little Duke's Corner at this past weekend's race. That little hip jump.
Yeah.
I love a dumb turning table, and I know it clobbered some guys. That
Dude,
thing
you're
got
loading
kitchen
the suspension with the bike leaning.
and Cooper.
So when it recoils and you're trying to turn left, I mean, it has nowhere to go
Problem
but
is
more
when
left.
When it ruts down the backside and they're coming to that corner.
Gnarly.
I love it.
So back in the old days, like at BMX, there was a track up in Nashville that had a big old corner hip like that.
yep.
And it was the greatest place on earth to
just flatten it
lay
out.
it out there, man.
Yes.
It's so cool.
So from the race this weekend, what was your favorite obstacle?
Vince Freeze,
yes.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too. That's what
Vince Freeze.
What
That's
in the
exactly where I was
world?
going.
hands down.
Vince Freeze.
We
was-
haven't even talked about this. We on purpose try not to communicate too much in terms of the race.
Because we don't
I'm
like
watching
each other.
that
Because
and
we
me
would
and my-
already blown a gasket.
And me
up
and my
it.
wife were like, "There he is again." Like it's a consistent.
He's always the center
What's
of
the
every...
Fowler's fact? And I'm trying to get Clint Fowler on the show. I'm not sure if it's going to happen tonight. Give me the stats on Vince Freeze and his. He's got to have the highest
percentage
And it's,
and
I'm talking about takedown rate. Dude,
cause
he is
of
a
injury
finisher. He is a
percentage.
closer.
He is a finisher.
He is a
man. He's
fireball.
closer.
John, what's his name? Rocker from the Atlanta Braves. 100
yeah,
miles an
yeah.
hour, racist as hell. Not saying Vince is, but just he was just a.
He has a
nasty
lot
human
of
being.
offensive
qualities. about
yes.
him, but damn,
You
Oh
know,
my
and I
God.
It
heard
never
like
fails.
some people trying to
defend him.
defend him.
I can the start. Okay, whatever. But the only variable is it's always him.
Yeah, that might
Jesus,
have
dude.
played if it had been somebody else on the
Yes.
start, but
Yes.
not with him, man. That-
Once you're involved in too many, everything
He took
you
down
do,
5 dudes like in his collaborative
five
effort.
big name dudes.
and
Yes.
the one guy's poor guy's legs.
Logan Carnell, yeah, dude.
yeah,
around
bent
He's
the
like-
done
wrong
for
way.
pretty much the rest of the year.
Yeah,
He let Vince know he wasn't happy about that, and
Yeah, Vince checked into. He put a story up on Instagram, and you can see the people that actually look at your story, or is on OnlyFans, I believe. And it shows, and it goes, "Hey, thanks Vince for checking in." He never called him or texted him, but he did look at how.
But he did acknowledge
jacked up
that he saw it.
Screw the guy.
Yeah.
And my post on Twitter, whenever Vincent or Logan posted that, I was like, that's very very on par for most serial killers, as they like to go back to the scene of the
they
crime
like to repeat. Yeah,
and just see, look,
Check out what
behind
they-
when they're doing the investigation.
man. All I know is if you're heading down the start straight and you just decide, man, I'm just gonna go left. I'm not even going.
he got Hunter Lawrence twice.
Yes, it's not good, man.
You got Dean Wilson really good.
Yeah.
And Dean is
That's
everybody's
less than
so
5
over.
seconds into the first race of
Yes,
the year.
they're
I mean,
so
he-
over the guy.
Yeah, at the start maybe he comes
Dean
to the
Wilson,
inside of
no,
that
just
jump.
too early, dude.
He
Like,
went
just-
from all the way to the inside of the
yes.
track.
You could
That-
see him adjust in the air. He's like, it's blood in the water immediately. His whole posture,
Everything.
where he went on the track. It's like,
That's a move I would make.
I'm good with that though.
Yeah, but
but you wouldn't be. I don't think you'd be a repeat offender.
One time,
think
a
you'd take
couple
everybody
times,
down, sure, no
not
problem.
Every
Accidents
pass you make,
happen.
every single time you pass somebody.
So for
Whoop,
years,
pow,
I mean,
pow.
Logan kind of mentioned, "Hey, you're getting in my pocket here," because now his
He's
year
in
is
everybody's
his
pocket.
year is over.
Correct.
That's a major expense he cost Logan Carnell. But yes, he does it to everybody. He costs everybody.
There
money.
there needs to be a Morgan and Morgan. Are you or anyone you know, have you been
Afflicted
affected
by
by the Vince
Vince
Freeze? Have you
Freeze.
been freezed?
What?
Jesus. Dude.
What was what's the
Why
guy?
don't we get a billboard and just see if we can get some hits? I mean,
You could.
You
What's
never
the
know.
guy's? What was the actual injury on his leg? It was broken.
His
It was a
ankle or leg.
dislocation. It was spun.
Yeah, I
like,
was going to say it did. When they kept saying broken.
they
but
popped it in.
I don't.
I'm
think-
sure
it
there's-
didn't.
It
Look
wasn't broken.
No, it immediately got popped in by the doctor. But I'm sure you stretch it that far, your ligaments, you're
Oh,
done.
you're
It's
out.
affected his season for
It
weeks. and
probably
weeks.
would have been better to break it.
I
Probably.
usually agree with
As
that.
long as it wasn't
Ligament
compound, but we
stuff?
stretch them out that bad, probably would have been.
It was a long way from straightforward. I mean, it was.
Yeah, man, that was like
It's
Joe
not
Theismann. He's
90.
looking down at it. It's like, don't put pressure on it. And the other guy on the Cowley Clay Center, whoever, he goes, ugh.
Yeah, freaking out, man.
Dude,
That's not
help
a
this
good
guy
feeling.
out.
Well, so I couldn't imagine lining up with this dude and knowing that that's a possibility that
Yes.
you'll be on the receiving end of that. I mean, I'll go back to another BMX story, but when I was 15, 16, 17, racing BMX Nationals, there was a guy from Noonan named Tim Willis, and somehow me and Tim Willis. We met at every national on the whole entire nation of America. He would try to cut you off and run you off the track, plow into you in turns. He never intended on turning, and I wasn't getting my money robbed. I was just getting my results robbed.
And you were pissed.
And oh my God, I just hate getting on the gate with a dude because he rode like that.
You know what it is too, man. I knew all about that cat, and it wasn't as much the BMX part of it, but he's really racist toward redheaded people.
Oh,
He's a ginger hater.
Please tell me he's not
Dude.
the one that voted on the sperm clinics.
Yes.
It might be for
he,
about Trey
no,
Kennard.
he's
He blocked
now
the
that's his
gingers.
job. He's on the medical
Ginger
board now.
enforcement.
So if you want to go back, we're talking about Trey Kennard, who was denied, more or less, the ability to donate sperm. Is that right?
Yeah, because he's a ginger, dude.
That was what he said.
Ginger lives matter. I can tell you that. But when it comes to Tim Willis,
His life don't
he
matter.
didn't care.
Tim Willis just wanted to take down a redhead, man.
Dude, so Jared, this week, Jared Harris, if you follow him on Instagram, he posted something about him at Evansville in 93, and he's got a picture of him racing BMX, and it just made me remember because Tim had ran me off the track in the moto right at the finish line. So I'll go from second to ninth or eighth or whatever BMX. I guess it was 8. So next moto, I don't even turn in the second turn, and it had a huge drop off down the back. I'm talking like 80 feet. And I never turned, man. And I just took him straight over that berm, and he's in the air, like running
in the air.
Yeah. So I'm go to the finish line. I ended up second, and I'm like, he's waiting on me the whole rest of the way around.
No, he's
the
still
track.
climbing and digging his shit
No,
off
the
that
finish
mountain.
line was down there. He
Oh,
was
so you
so
rolled
he
him
I
right
like
to it.
got him to the finish line quicker, right? So he is waiting, but the whole Kavachi Wheels team came, and like, oh, are you gonna fight, Tim? You ready to fight?
Yeah.
Because everybody's wearing the same color jersey as me, man. It ended it though. Nothing happened. I retaliated hard enough, which is where David Bailey was heading the other day.
Yes.
If somebody cleaned him out 3 times as hard as he cleaned somebody out,
Damn, he got his
it
ass
might
whooped by
stop.
Vince Free or by Weston Pike back in the day. I thought
Going for
that
like-
would have been enough.
Going for vertebrae.
He was
in
trying
the
to get
neck.
just any skin he could get. He was just pure neck shots.
Neck meat, dude.
But I actually had somebody I went and rode this weekend, and a guy walked up that listens to the show. He goes, man, all I could think about when I was watching the race the other night was how Bailey said they wouldn't have got, we would have handled that back in our day. We would have got that taken
I
care
feel
of.
like Weston is scary enough.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't that stop it? If Weston
You
Pike
got to
is
do it out of
attacking
gear, dude.
you,
You got to do it out of gear. You got to do it when
on
that
the
dude's
street.
just getting some gas and you just pummel him. One time,
Like
at the
Eddie
riders
Ray.
meeting,
Eddie Ray
after the chaplain service at riders meeting and all that.
just walk up with a pro
you got to
circuit
do it off
silencer.
camera because I don't think they'd penalize you. Like they just don't want to look bad in front of the fans.
We
Yeah,
have
you
to do
can
it now.
street fight. You
Right.
just don't want to street fight in the middle of the stadium.
And I'm not. I mean, once or twice, I get it, but dude, it's freaking all the time.
It's a habit.
And I'll tell you what. Guess what? The first time I ever saw this guy ride was at my track. I'm not
Vince
making
Freeze?
Vince
At your
Freeze
track?
at my track. He came down for a regional qualifier. First
What
turn.
class are we talking? Are they like 80s?
I think no, it's a big bike.
Big
B class, I think. I think he was an MTF. They come up there's a bunch of people here at the regional. And sure enough, first turn, just melee down there. Then the guy, he's cutting the track trying to find this guy, just riding over everywhere, not even care. And whoever's with
at
him
a regional.
at
now,
a regional, whoever-
regional matters.
and whoever's with him is hucking rocks at the dude that they got into it with. So that was my first experience. So it ain't. He's 15, back
throwing
then.
rocks
His-
and
his-
cutting the track to kill somebody.
Correct.
Like that's not.
That's a fact.
good
There's
intro.
1,000 people that saw it.
So if you wrote all this down, like say you made a list of every Vince Freeze altercation, I mean, you
50 of them.
can't.
It looked like a Walgreens
I bet it's
receipt.
more than
Be like
50.
17 feet long.
There's
Yes.
ones that no one talks about because they didn't go down.
Right.
That where it was like it's
Or you didn't
dangerous
see it, or
enough.
some little race, fairground race that blah blah blah.
Where he cleaned out the local guy,
Right.
you know, trying to make $300 or whatever. Yeah, I disagree with that whole motocross is dangerous enough, and the real fast guys they don't do that. They stay out of carnage as
Yeah, they don't
best.
want to bring
Because
that
there's
heat
no
back
money
on
in it.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no money in carnage.
You know what I
right?
mean? Like, there's no money in it.
Zero.
I don't know how, like, and I may be just getting crazier, but how is Honda not going like, look, dude, you're on a Honda. These dudes are on a Honda. Chill
Yeah, you
out,
took
dude.
out a-
freaking chill out.
A $high competitor in Hunter Lawrence and wrecked his night. You know, it does.
Again,
hurt
that was on the
Honda
start,
brand.
so I'm going to give him a
Sure,
somewhat
everybody
of
will
a
give
buy,
him.
but
Everybody
damn.
will give him some because it's the start. But when it's your 54th item in 4 years or whatever, it's too many.
I tell you, even with when the start of the main, that very first lap, and I don't know his fault, whatever, he was involved. Mookie and Ken Roxon coming back to 10th and 11th or whatever.
fantastic rods.
Those were so, that
Probably
was-
one
And
of
you
the
know
ones
how
not
bummed
spoken.
Ken was? You get that momentum, you win your heat race, you're like,
It's gonna be on
there,
tonight.
everybody wrote me off. Same with Cooper. Like, I was texting some buddies. I'm like, well, I'm sure you had this on your scorecard, huh? Right? These guys were going to win.
I
right?
thought Roxon, after that heat race,
Why not?
I thought Roxon,
He has a chance to win, right?
he could win the race.
I mean, if you get Ken, and this is a perfect scenario, if Ken gets a whole shot, Coop's second, Sexton's
Jets
third,
7th or
and
whatever.
I mean, it's not going to be as easy. Although his pass on Coop or whoever it was in the main was so lightning quick. Like, no, it was on Anderson. It's like
Yeah.
he wasted. He knew what he had to do. It's like this guy has a
Boom.
mission.
He's gone.
Yeah.
That heat race is whatever.
It's so cool to see an elite level pro operate with everything they got for a section or two.
With
It's
that
like,
intention, like
how
I
the
have to
heck
do
is
this.
that possible?
If you let this guy in front of you settle in, it's going to get harder and harder.
harder, yep.
There was a video this week of, I guess they were practicing this week, but it was Sexton and Prado coming through like a set of whoops and going into a left-hander. God damn.
Bad to the bone.
I
right?
mean, you
That's great. Listen, that's analysis right there.
that was announced.
Say it again, Nick.
What did they do? So
He
describe
said,
it.
He just
again.
said, "Damn."
a set of whoop. They were going through a set of whoops.
I'm just
like both of them
busting him
blitzing the whoops, come through into a left-hander.
And it's just like,
God damn.
That's bad. See, and
Bad,
like a lot of
bad
people
hell.
could use that, right? Like if you could somehow have a class and you're going to educate the kids, and you'd be like,
Damn.
man, what y'all want to do?
Just go,
Just
bad
get it
in
down
hell.
through here and turn
They
left
just-
and beat it. And when you go through there, you need to be like,
Listen,
Hell yes.
I've been instructed. Tyler Bowers explained to me.
Good point.
what was that?
It was.
go
He
faster.
said, "Are you jumping that tabletop?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, just go faster." And hey, it worked.
Apparently.
See, and I think
That's
a
the
lot
same
of these
thing,
pros
just like,
are applying
just like
that.
skiing the K-12. You just go that way
I'm with
really
you.
fast. Something gets in your way.
I think that's
Turn.
what Roxon was thinking, you know, when he
I got
did
it.
that. He's like, I'll just go fast, man. I'll go a little faster than I was going. And
I mean, for them to come back in that field from the back.
yeah,
to-
man.
After picking your bike up.
Yeah, 10th and kickstarting it.
So how
10th
how was your moto, John, on your Jeff Ward replica
Well,
3X?
Yeah.
The
How'd
problem-
your motos go today in the mud?
the problem
Let's show
is,
about your helmet. Like, get it.
Oh, you want to check it out?
Yeah.
This is an early Jeff Ward helmet.
Is he on a DG something?
This
What is
was
he on?
this is an early. I
FMF?
believe he was on a Suzuki on this, and nobody really knows Jeff Ward rode a Suzuki. But after the XR75s, he was still number 3X. FMF sponsored Suzuki, and Wardy did sign that helmet. But it's just you'll never find it. It was probably 1978 at the end of 78, maybe 79.
Yeah.
And he rode a Suzuki for a minute, and this is the helmet.
what year it was, but Jeff Ward, for me, up until like Eli coming like now, number 3 was Jeff Ward.
It's Jeff Ward's number.
It was Jeff Ward's number.
Yeah.
I agree
When
with
I was
you.
a kid,
I think that
that
all
was
the
Jeff
time.
Ward's number.
The
Yeah.
showy helmet, the showy what the Oakley mask was wicked looking.
He
for a
held
little
on to
while.
that open
For
face
any-
helmet
longer than
3
anybody.
years past, showing
500
offering
class. Yes.
Let me
offering
see-
an open
let me see
face.
this.
Everybody's riding close face stuff, and he's
He's on a
racing
500
the
racing
500
uphill at Washougal. Like,
Budds Creek.
oh,
Get
that's
outta
cool. Hey, man, send me some 500 roost in this
80 mile
open
an hour
face.
fastballs, dude. That's just a
Let me
beast.
tell you, when I got
Speaking of
my,
Jeff Ward, there's the jersey back there too. That
Yeah,
Ward-
yeah. Cinesalo
Cut
years.
those, cut those
That's,
sleeves to about right there. You remember that? It cut
well,
them
they
way
came with the
back.
terry cloth cuffs.
I know, super tight.
Like death,
Yeah.
you know? Like, here you
he
go.
cut them things
that was
way
a
up
good
here.
idea though, to keep the sweat off your hands.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is there, but dang it, just holds
Then
the
it had
heat
the
in.
mock turtle. I mean, it went way up here.
Let's sweat to
Let's
death
fold-
during this moto.
Terry Cloth.
If you're racing in like
Honduras.
No, I meant like
What is that, velvet?
I was trying to think of an ice.
Is that
place.
a crushed velvet tracksuit he's wearing right now?
He's wearing
Is he a
crushed
soprano?
velvet.
I remember when I got this Scott face mask,
The Venturi.
the
Didn't get-
Venturi,
yeah, it didn't get
clicked
cool.
into my goggles. My whole life changed.
You were bad
I
to
thought
the bone,
dude,
right?
Yes.
I was cruising.
What was the
neighborhood.
cartoon character, the BMX guy? They always had that helmet with that on. It was a cartoon in the back of a BMX Plus. It was like Radical Rick. His name was Radical
I remember
Rick.
Radical Rick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wore this a couple of races or whatever, or this Venturi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you could eat roost with that on. And then you case a jump and your face hits the crossbar.
Wow.
I need more than that.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's a record just
Wardy,
protecting your face.
It's just unbelievable that he's not disfigured or something. He's a normal looking guy.
all
right?
those guys from back then.
I met Jeff Ward when he signed this helmet, so he had the team.
I hope so. He'd have to be there.
I mean, yeah, it was weird to just sit it out on a bench and wait on him to come
There
by.
he is. He signed it just
He
out of
signed
nowhere. He
his-
randomly walked up to a
Jeff
helmet sitting out.
Ward, Jeff Ward autograph clause. It just showed up. Like,
He just
Man.
knows. There's a bat signal that comes up.
There's a
and
helmet on a park bench,
go, Jeff Ward.
Ventura,
Go.
California.
you know where I met Jeff Ward the first time was at and he would have no recollection of this at
My
all.
dad's shop.
But no, it was actually
Right.
He was there.
Atlanta Motor Speedway when he was driving Indy cars.
Oh wow!
That was later. For
Did
sure.
you go up to him because he's a motocrosser, and
No, I was with.
or were you going to check him out because of that?
No, we were down there working on a stunt show.
None
Oh.
of the
And,
above.
I didn't care. I just happened to see him.
Ryan Dean was with us. He was in
Hmm.
the show, in the stunt show too, and he knew Jeff Ward from Timmy, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so we just went over and talked to him, and he had his little IndyCar suit on.
I put Wardy
We got
up
to walk
there
around and look at the car. It was pretty badass.
with. Oh, you got to actually look at the car up
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah,
yes.
we
You did
were,
a lap?
We were on the other side of the wall. I couldn't.
He
fit
let him ride on the back.
I tell you
of it.
this.
on
Slow
the
down,
wing.
Jeff Ward. Slow down.
I couldn't fit in the car.
Hell no. Dude. Your car would be 8 foot longer.
I
if
feel
you
like
had
a-
to get,
a
Wardy's
monster truck.
half the height of Nick.
Yeah.
I would have to have extra suspension on mine.
But we talked last week about Pastrana and how varied his accomplishments are. He's got motocross freestyle, he's got rally,
Yes.
he's done some truck
NASCAR,
racing,
yeah.
NASCAR. Jeff Ward's a little like that. I mean, he's
sure.
got the motocross, obviously,
Supermoto.
but he did supermoto. He's also done the cars, and then he,
He got second in the Indianapolis 500.
yeah, that's bad. I remember that. That was
Yeah.
a cool.
I was pulling for him then.
Yeah,
That was
everybody was pulling for him because the
cool. With his
moto.
custom Troy Lee Designs helmet.
Yeah, it's awesome. But like he's got accomplishments like that, and he's even a bad to the bone on a mountain bike, and
Yeah.
he can pull major mileage on a.
He still rides mountain bike a lot.
I think
Yeah.
his bike, his SR250 went through the that Mecum auction.
Which you're
a
like,
couple of
why
years
would that
ago.
ever
that hurts
end
my
up?
heart that it ever made it to that.
Yes, it should
It's like
be
an 85, wasn't it? The 85 because that's
Yes,
when we
85
stopped.
is the baddest.
What did it
86 was
bring?
production. I don't know, but probably not enough. 50 grand
Well,
for a full blown
Yeah,
hand.
that
That
would be
works.
up there. I was thinking if you were going to say, like, I've been to a couple of Mecum auctions and I've bought a little bit of stuff here and there, but if a bike like that went through and it was back at 20, it'd
You'd
be
have to buy it.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah,
the
you'd have
dumb-
bought it. So-
everybody'd be like, "What is this guy thinking?"
Yeah,
But
there's a few people like this guy's an idiot, but then all the moto people like that's
Well,
a
the
steal.
the foremost collector of works bikes in the world is Terry Good, and he's in Chicago.
Yeah.
And he has got the funding for a place. It's 100,000 square foot. It'll be called the International Motocross Museum, and that's where that bike belongs. I don't know who bought it at Mecum. I do sort of remember some
Yeah.
works bikes going through there, but they need to be. And maybe I don't remember.
and it
seeing
may be
any
somewhere where you
Cowies.
can see it. It's like Tom White's place out in
Yeah,
California.
yeah, he's got
like,
some cool stuff.
yeah.
Right?
one of
very cool.
last fall, I think Kevin, I might have told you about this. They had a Mecum in Arizona or somewhere, and like Matasevich, his
All Japan, Taichi, Suzuki
yeah,
maybe.
that he won the Japanese national
Oh,
championship.
that's cool.
Yeah,
It went through there.
It's like $1,200.
yeah.
Wow.
kidding. No.
I mean, I'm like,
No.
add
Hey,
like
some
a zero.
dude just, one of those wheelie guys just bought it and took
yeah,
off.
and
down.
started wheeling up the road.
$2,000. Sick.
She seized on me.
We're
Hadn't
gonna
been
get a
ran in
piston
50
for one of
years.
these at.
You know, that would be so cool. Like whatever it costs, and you just have that It'd be like 5 people you knew that'd be like, God, that's so cool.
Yeah, 5 people.
Five
Yeah.
people would understand why you had passion
you
to buy
bought it.
this.
Then one of your kids' friends gets over and cranks it up and rides down the street.
They just put it on
While you're out of town.
Craigslist.
While you're out of town, like on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they're like riding your most pristine, never before
And those
started
don't have
out
a
of a
reverse,
crate.
so you
No,
can't get the hours off of it.
correct.
They'd be out riding around
the
the yard.
bomber over here. Did you ever ride that, or your
The
son
little
rode that?
bomber, Rhett raced that in Waldo, Florida at a vintage race, and they don't really have mini bike classes, so he got put in the 125 through 175 class, and he's dueling to the death with a dude on a YZ. They actually made a YZ 175, and nobody knows about it, but they made one, and the tank said 175 and everything. I've seen them.
Yep.
But he's gave this dude fits on that little bike against the big bike, and he came off the track. He says, most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle.
And you said he came up to you, and he was like, he didn't understand why people kept like, oh man, tell me about that bike. He was like, I don't know, it's just an old dirt bike.
Yeah,
he didn't
doesn't
understand
care.
how cool the bike was. that
No,
he
and
was
his gear said Little Bomber. Everything said Little
Oh,
Bomber.
okay. So,
his
yeah.
helmet
He's
said
like,
Little.
why is everybody staring at me?
And
Like,
dudes are just walking up taking pictures and stuff.
yeah.
Well, one year I
It's
made
like,
him
"Dad,
race.
There's a bunch of pervs here.
Yeah,
on the bike
Dad,
with you,
these
weird-
guys
Stranger
are
danger,
pedos.
stranger
off
danger.
me.
So one year I made him race an XR75 at a vintage race, and all these guys lined the fence because they want to hear that XR go around the track because they had one when they were little kids. Well, they're coming up. He's coming up this one straightaway, and it was 5th gear wide open, and all the dudes have got their hands out, thumbs up, man, way to go, little buddy. And he's like 8. He's got that bike all the way to the floor, and he looks over at all those guys giving him thumbs up, and he just does this, thumbs down. Thumbs down, you bunch of jerks.
Bunch of weirdos.
And so he comes off the track, and I go, dude, why'd you give him thumbs down? He goes, because this bike sucks. And I'm like, why? He goes, it sucks, man. It's so slow, and the suspension's terrible. I'm like, but when they were kids, that was the best thing you could
You just
get,
ruined their day, man. You're 8 years old. Just took the soul
he
out
could
of
not
them dudes.
understand. Why would we ride this crap? He held the throttle on with a thumbs down with the clutch hand, dude.
Suck it, man.
That was awesome. 5th gear. And 5th gear on an XR75, it's probably like 28 miles an hour. I mean, he was barely going by,
Yeah.
That was an iconic motorcycle, though, man.
Good God. They had to have
many-
sold 50 million.
Millions of people.
They had to.
Another Fowler's facts I'd like to know.
I
How many
didn't-
bikes did y'all
Yeah,
sell, dude?
exactly. Yeah. Because you know as well as I do, if you've got an old Kawasaki, you're going to have trouble finding parts. Kawasaki did not sell as many motorcycles, but if you want, that's why I've got all those restored Hondas. There's no problem. Heck, you can call some Honda dealerships and they'll have parts for an XR75 in stock.
There were 2 of them in my neighborhood kids had, and they were
XR75s?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
wow.
just thought it was the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean?
I was
Like,
the kid with the XR75, and I didn't really think it was a good motorcycle, but it always ran.
yeah,
No
correct.
matter what,
Yeah.
it cranked. The dumbest thing they did on those was bolt the foot pegs to the engine cases. and then I didn't have a dad who said, hey,
Might wanna
keep
go
those
easy.
bolts tight.
Yeah.
At least check them every now and then. So I would ruin engine cases on an XR75. The bolts would get loose, pegs start wobbling, and then the pegs would fall off, and you'd be like dragging feet behind you,
No
getting
oil
your
coming
nuts
out?
racked.
They didn't.
No, it never
Thank
would.
God they didn't have the drilled into the cases or whatever. How dumb
And
would
then you
that
get
be?
in there and put you a washer and a nut. No, they didn't go all the way to the oil, but it ruined the cases to where you couldn't bolt pegs anymore. Because if you drilled it any bigger, now you're into the oil. It's totally stupid.
And one of the few Honda fails.
One of
Yeah.
their
like
right.
very few. Like
And if you just check
they had
the
in like a
bolts.
CR450 or whatever that
480.
81
the
model for they had a
left-hand-
450.
The left-hand kickstart
Whew.
CR was. That
It'll
was,
kill you.
that
Left
was
hand
like a
kick.
death-
You fall over in a moto and try it. Just try to hurry and kick it with your left
Those
foot.
things are so well built though. Like, I just remember like everybody when we were working on. We had Cowies, we had KTM's, and I remember like what a pain in the ass. Certain things that were just not quite as
not
well thought out. Man, but a Honda's like they've done it all.
Everything's butter,
Yes,
right?
it's even the grips that came on, like you
They were great
You would
grips.
run stock OEM 91.
They were better than what you
Yeah.
could
I know
buy.
all the bikes are that way now, probably. But
Probably.
I still feel pretty good about my Honda all the time.
It's a good bike.
And I tell you, too,
What year is your bike? It's like a
23.
23 450 Honda. Yeah.
And the transmissions, I mean, back in like the 90s.
They're built well, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
back
they
in the
really
90s,
are.
like that 95 CR I had, or I've got, and then like the 92 I had back then. I just remember riding everything else and the transmission and stuff.
All
Clutch felt
clunky and
clunky as hell.
stupid.
And the
Yeah.
Honda
Squishy
was
and
so
whatever.
smooth, man.
We had Cowies because we owned a Cowie dealership, so I was kind of partial. But I was like all the time, I was like, man, I really would just love to have that '87 CR125, which
Yeah.
is one of the all-time greatest.
They still say it's one of the best built bikes,
What
right?
what year do they come with orange or gold rims? Like, there was
So,
a year-
87 for
That's-
sure.
yeah, exactly.
86, I believe. So, the 86 through 88 was the orange. The bikes were, or maybe 83 through 88. Yeah. 83 was orange through 88. Those kind of orange Hondas,
yes.
right?
Yep.
And I know 86, 7, and 8 had gold rims. I put gold rims on these. They were faded out. It had this, I just changed them. They were faded.
Right.
So, this one came with them too, I guess. 89. I don't know. Do you remember?
I feel like silver was.
There's a
probably 89.
picture. Maybe it was silver. Yeah, that right there. They're silver.
Yeah. I think
God,
so.
I just lied on national television.
Now, if you were a bad dude and like 92 and had red rims or something just outrageous, remember you couldn't customize bikes like you can.
People used to though. You remember those
I mean,
guys that
like the dudes from up in Michigan, they would
they
come
had
down with,
nothing to do all
they
winter.
had orange day glow tough seats and
Yeah.
tough fork boots. I'm like, what?
That's sweet, man.
Whoa! They come down the winter M's. I'm like, who are this Michigan mafia people I'm hearing about?
There was some
Crazy
local guy
looking.
that always had Kawasaki's with polished swing arms and the rims were painted green.
What year though?
92.
Okay,
Gary,
well, that-
Gary Clark was.
I know
Remember
Gary
those
Clark.
Clark brothers?
Yeah.
yeah.
But now you go back to like
No, we
Sean.
had a Gary Clark from Douglasville too. Right?
That's probably
Different
him,
guy.
dude.
different guy. Now
Oh,
he
different?
always rode like a husky or something.
Nah.
But like when Sean Dukes rolls up with the Kawasaki with red plastic in like 80, I don't know, 5.
Which is wild. right?
That was I'd never seen that.
What did they do?
He
Did they
swapped-
retrofit KDX?
No, he had
stuff?
KDX stuff on his KX80. I was like,
That's
this
bad to the bone.
is
dude.
outrageous. I don't even know what to even think right now is the baddest shit I've ever
I'd like to see a picture of that. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I know where I was when that van opened up, and I was like,
You know what I did to customize my bike? I would get Tester's model paint and paint the bolt heads the color of the bike. Like you could buy Cali green. I'd be like,
factory, son.
but look how dumb that is.
dumber
Like you
than
got to
hell,
put a
dude.
wrench on it. Now it's jacked.
It's so
If
dumb.
I bring my bike over, can you do that?
Can I paint your bolt? Can I paint your
You
fingernails?
pay my bolts.
Robbie. We did that in '92
Robbie.
before the amateur supercross.
Before you were headed to Supercross?
We did. Me and Kevin Truitt painted Kyle's KTM, all that shit, and he beat Clark Styles the next day. He was like, "Oh yeah!" He felt like he
Dude,
was
it's because of the bolt
responsible.
heads.
They were all teal green, like 400 of them, all night long.
green, dude.
Truitt stayed up all night.
Please
long.
tell me y'all checked the bolts tightness before painting
Oh,
them.
hell
Or
no.
did you just paint them?
Nah, we're painting. We're here to
Man, I
paint,
need
dog.
armor all for them tars, and I
And some
need
paint, baby.
paint. That's how you get a bike ready for Supercross.
Man, I had video of that, and unfortunately, it burned up. But dude, I chronicled the whole day.
Did you really?
I did. I was like, Kyle, what do you like? Man, we're pulling up. Look at
How do
that.
you feel,
The big
Kyle?
dome. It's '93, I guess. No, I guess it was early '93. I'm like,
This right here is
We're
from
pulling up.
94 amateur day. One
Yeah.
of those trophies right in there.
Goes
Oh,
One
right
of
there.
those days, the first time it was at the
Fourth.
Dome,
It was the first year at the dome was the one I'm talking
94. I think that's
I
what
was
that
there.
is.
It was freaking cold.
And practice is my favorite. 5 a.m. Let's ride practice. It's 5 a.m.
So we've been up since.
Don't y'all feel like
So we
it?
went to Supercross.
Supercross.
Got home whenever you got home, and then went right back down there.
So ours was the day of the Super. We raced that morning.
No way.
Yeah, and then I went home and took a shower and put the bike up and came back and
I
watched.
think
the-
so.
And I was
on a
asleep,
Saturday.
dude. I'm like trying to stay awake for the mains, and I couldn't do it.
Did it? Yeah, you're so. I remember that. I was
Exhaustion.
so exhausted from just the
Maybe
excitement
maybe
of
I have it wrong.
being
man.
in the Dome.
I thought it was the next day.
Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was
that was damn freezing ass cold.
always on.
that was when
Sunday.
Shea Bentley beat Ricky Carmichael.
Yes,
One of the few times that has
freaking
ever
awesome.
happened. Yeah.
That trophy's from '95, so I don't know.
That's a couple years.
Maybe 94
We were
was
on
in the Dome.
KTM's. I know Kyle raced a '93 KX125 at Loretta's in '93.
Yeah,
So it could have been 90. I mean, that's summer of '93. So it could have been February of '93 that we were.
y'all were
Whatever
so
race
cutting
they've done.
edge. All them new bikes.
Yeah.
And the Cowie dealership's long gone by then.
Yes, we
I
were-
mean,
we
where
were
would
out
you
of it.
get a Kawasaki from at that point?
That's a good
I
question.
sponsored Kyle for a while. He rode my KTM.
He did.
Was
race
that
it.
yours that got the bolts painted?
No,
No.
His was
my-
an orange one. We had the Mike Fisher.
Yes.
I had a
KTM.
white. My KTM was the white with purple. 94 KTM 250 SX.
So he didn't have the pumpkin. Remember the orange used to
Yep.
be
Yeah,
hideous,
hideous.
man.
It was before the pumpkin.
I
Matter
can't.
of fact-
What would make you just because of Barry Higgins? You'd be like,
I
yeah, I'm gonna
love-
buy a KTM.
Right down the road from him.
You know what? I think I had
I only
melted,
buy my bikes
as
on
much as we were
Bankhead.
talking about the Honda. I had melted my CR250 motor maybe twice. I don't know something.
leaving it at Kevin's house,
Yeah,
so it
and,
could burn down and melt the motor.
And I was up there talking to Barry one day, and we were looking at it. And honestly, the damn 94, to me, that 94 250 SX was beautiful.
And this is
White with purple.
White and purple. Okay.
Yeah. And
God, I can't even picture it, man. I just remember being at the track and I'd be like, this dude's on a KTM. And heck, it could have been you.
Yeah, it could have.
For all I know, because I was racing.
Probably was.
I'd be like, this dude is riding a KTM. Remember how like that was crazy talk?
Hey, I was the only person with one of those KTMs.
Yes. It had to have been you, Nick.
Yeah.
And it's funny because me and Nick talk like, how were we at the same track and didn't know?
It had to be me. And I just remember talking to.
It was a 250?
Like, yeah. And all the parts were so, like it already had fat bars on it.
They came with the good stuff.
Had all the fittings, like doing your suspension, look, you could just go grease your suspension.
And I remember
that.
I raced it that whole first year of the season, and I went to Barry and I was like, hey, I need to order a piston and
why?
rings.
You got 200 more hours left on this thing.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. Why? And I said, because
I'm going to call Austin right now.
raced it all year. And he said, well, does it have compression? Yeah. Leave it the hell alone.
Well, and he has a point, right? Because like
it came with forged pistons.
those things are more durable.
Yes.
I can speak to that because I never rode anything like that, but I had a Gas 200 when it was original Gas. 5-hour enduros. I raced the whole series for a year. And at the end I'm like, man, I can't believe we haven't put a top end in this yet, but we need to. They're like, no, you don't.
Yeah, just keep
And I'm going,
rolling.
what do you mean? It sucked dust 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fine. And it was when we tore it down. Because I'm like, hey, we got to change this. It looked brand new.
And then you're like, regretted it.
Then I'm like, man, I got $87 in this stupid top end. Because those things were Kawasaki copies on most everything.
Yeah.
Hello.
Austin Forkner. Can you do that?
Yeah, Austin.
Can I do that?
Yeah, can you rupture a vocal cord real fast?
No.
No.
I don't have.
He started to.
I can. I have to get in the mood. Like whenever I'm singing and stuff, like in the truck or whatever, I can belt, but just it's never good.
Well,
Like,
in the
that's, like, one
truck,
thing
it's
I'm-
pretty good. You
Good's
know you're
relative.
good.
It's probably good in the truck.
Yeah,
for
in the
you.
truck, everybody's really good.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, that's Riley tells me that, but I know inside that I'm not good.
She's being sweet.
Yeah, she is.
It's protecting your ego.
Right.
Yeah.
On Fred Cycles, RM80.
Was that really who it was?
No, I just made that up.
I'm like, Fred Cycles? That sounds so
Fred
fake.
Cycle Supply.
That sounds like a pawn shop.
Hey, what's the jankiest sponsor you've ever had? We've got Austin Forkner.
He don't
on
want
the-
to blow somebody
Well,
out.
I mean, just like Tommy's Flea Market. Dude, we've all had like some trucking
we're
company.
sponsored by Pork Skins.
Yeah, we got pork
Austin.
rinds.
I'm trying to think. I was probably sponsored by like whenever I don't know what you would call like whenever I was younger, I was getting I got the chance to go race overseas for like that junior Motocross the Nation
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
or
Yep.
something. And that was pretty expensive. So I had to go and ask like my grandparents knew some people that were in like the cattle or pork industry or whatever.
There you
So I
go.
remember they took me to different people and I basically had to write down and take like a book and take like a resume of things that I had accomplished, which at, like 10 or whatever wasn't much, especially for anything that people outside of moto.
Tying my
like,
own shoes. I make my own bed.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
appreciate that more than mini O's.
I
Like,
clean
what
my
is this mini O's
plates.
you're talking about, son? Like, they wouldn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, you got second at Mini O's. That's
Couldn't win it,
great.
huh?
Like, okay, but I'm pretty sure that they said it like they already knew that he was. They just wanted me to like get it in my head that
Yeah.
like, oh, I had to put in some sort of effort.
Yeah, you got to earn
Yeah,
it.
and I'm going to
you know,
represent
Get
these
this
farmers.
sponsorship or get this. So I don't even know if you would call that a legit sponsorship, but I probably talked to people that were just in like the pork business or so pork rinds. I guess
Dude,
we're kind of
yeah,
on the
so
same
You're
you-
page,
the
but
original
I'm not-
pork rind
I'm not
sponsor.
exactly sure what they did, but it
It's
was
gotta
something
be.
with meat.
It's
So
probably-
steak or
we
something
just
like
took
that,
over your
so.
sponsor when you got through. When you
Yeah.
outgrew them, they're like,
Guys,
we're
they're
already
the
in the
He's too far advanced.
the next big thing here. So
Yeah. Right. You
we're
know what I
already in
kind
the
of
motocross
envision?
business.
I kind of envision like when Napoleon had to load all those chickens into the truck. Like I picture Austin going over there and they'd be like,
Sloppy.
Shawnee Arrowheads.
Hey,
Hey, he's near some Shawnee
I know. I was
Indians.
about to say you probably can speak that dude's language whenever you watch. Have you seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so
When that dude
Okay.
points and and I'm sure you could speak that dialect.
yeah, that's how those
Oh, yeah,
guys.
everybody was confused at what he's saying, and I was just, what do you mean?
He found
I was like,
arrowheads over by that pig pen down by the creek.
yeah, every word.
That makes total sense, man.
Yeah, we got you're the first one to get pork skins.
On the map.
Yeah, with motocross.
Pork
Just
would have never existed without Austin Forkner.
not in the motocross.
Yeah, I'm the reason. Yeah,
space.
I'm the reason that my grandparents' farm did anything as well, because it was nothing before I came along.
Yeah.
You know, I brought
put
that
it on the
notoriety.
map.
to
Forget
the
that
farm.
100
exactly.
years of 100 years of sweat
Yeah.
equity.
Yeah, exactly.
Blood,
That's
sweat,
what
and
I'm
tears.
He watched Yellowstone. He's like, I'm the reason for all this bullshit.
Yes.
Not the fights y'all had with the Indians 200 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, is it like Yellowstone, this farm here? I picture like all your boys with Dodge diesels and
There's a guy named
we're
Rip.
shooting people when they goddamn act wrong.
Taking them to the train station.
Yep.
Anything
I
like
mean, yeah, everybody, at least my dad, he always drove a diesel. There was, they had dualies that they would haul around, like with trailers to put like cows or pigs in, and they had barns. They had like one or two big barns with that they would store the tractors and the combines and all the different
that?
headers.
So you were for real
for
farming.
the combines.
So your dad
No,
was
yeah,
Rip.
I mean, he was like farmer ripped, like
Yes.
just like manual labor ripped. Yes, like that's what I mean. Yeah, it's different than like going to the gym ripped, but
No, I'm
that's
talking
like
about
real man.
You,
fit.
no, that's real
Oh,
man
you're
strength.
talking
I'm talking about Rip, the
strong.
guy. The dude Rip is Mike Fortner.
That means you had to
Oh,
watch
yes.
Yellowstone.
yes.
So yeah, let's just go ahead and say yes.
Perfect.
Let me tell you the funniest thing when you talking about everybody had a dually. Recently, John has a dually because he's a little mini Yellowstone.
I just want to be like Mike Fortner.
This John, our John.
our
yeah,
John.
me. He's talking about me.
And he's got a friend, we're outside of Atlanta, so he's got a friend that's like a computer guy that does all this. And so John went to his house in his dually, and a guy comes outside and never seen a truck with two rear tires before. He's like, so is this thing street legal?
Is this like some kind of construction truck? What is this
You
thing?
got a tag for it? What?
What? I had to lie at the DMV to get a tag. Man.
I mean, that's like I wouldn't say everybody had a dually, but like anytime you had to haul equipment or anything like that, yeah, you pretty much you pretty much had a dually. Just because all of the other like farm vehicles were just clapped out.
Yeah.
Like they were just old like 90s trucks that had 300,000 miles on them that just, they were just, they barely ran themselves, much less pull anything.
So y'all would run everything in the ground, probably out of necessity.
Yeah,
I guess,
we had a couple. Yeah, I mean, we had a couple nicer trucks that they would take to like fairs or actual, but all of the things that just got used every day were pretty clapped out. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure I gave like the farm a mule a few years ago because I get like a free like something from Kawasaki every year. And I gave them one my first year being pro, and that thing is probably just roast now. I mean, I
it's
think it's
1,000
still
hours
runs,
or whatever.
They just use it. I mean, it just gets used. It's just like I mean,
like
that's
it's
what
supposed
they're
to.
for. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like it gets used. Anything on the farm, definitely like nothing's nice there. It's all
it's all used, well worn.
You're all proud. You give them that mule. It's all brand new and shiny. You come back in a year and you're like, hey, I gave y'all one just like that. Where's the one I gave you?
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it,
Yeah.
dog. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
It's got to be cheaper than wearing out trucks to put a fleet of Kawasaki mules out there.
You got to haul a lot of
Dang
pork
right.
rinds in that thing.
yeah,
lot of
man.
pork.
A lot
Take care
of
of your
pork rinds.
sponsors.
Hey, so I know you watched the race this past weekend, and like, what are your thoughts on the first round and in terms of like the track being easy or whatever? Which Like, do they do that for you guys though? On the East Coast, they're like, oh, we want to make it easy for the first round, but like when we get to the East
When we
Coast,
get to
it's
East,
like
those-
round.
they
two.
should be ready.
But I know that it's still your first
Still
round.
round
so
one.
They didn't make it easy for you guys.
Nah, yeah. I was honestly, I didn't have from watching the track. It looked like a pretty decent track.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think
thought.
that all of the, but like in front of the start straight, all those little tight switchbacks make it kind of hard to pass.
Yeah.
So kind of the main passing zone was the long rhythm, and then obviously the two whoop sections. Because after that, kind of before the finish line, all those short little kind of shoots make it kind of hard to pass. But other than that, I mean, I thought it looked like a pretty decent racetrack. I didn't really think that anything, honestly, nothing about A1, the whole race in general, really, really surprised me. Other than like usual, like honestly, probably the most surprising thing was Webb.
Yes.
Just the fact that he was good so quickly, because usually he's like a fifth, 5 or 6 races in.
Sure.
Then he catches then he gets fire, and then he starts just clicking off.
Yeah.
Usually that's kind of how he works, but he was good immediately.
I think that's
So
what
that was
everybody's
probably the
talking
most
about.
surprising thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if
that for me,
if you base that on his earlier races too, you're like, man, maybe he's not gelling with the bike or whatever, but man, whatever he did and winning that first heat race and came out for blood in that next round or the next race, it looked good.
Rolling, man. Yeah.
yeah.
It would have been interesting if he hadn't gone down the last 3 laps.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he may have gotten Jason. It would have been close, but I think he may have got. Obviously, he wouldn't have. I don't think he would have caught up to Jet or anything. But it would have been. I think he possibly could have made the pass stick on Jason, just because he was like, you could tell he was hunting. Like,
He looked good in the heat
he
race.
reeled Jason in, and then
For sure.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like, I was just talking to my roommate the other night. I was just like, hey, like we were talking, we were like, if Jet gets out front, that's where he rides the best.
Mm-hmm.
But as you saw in the heat race, like if he gets started, second, and yeah, he was catching Cooper, but then he went down.
Yeah.
Like after he got back up, he didn't catch and really pass anybody. Like it's like, but if he starts out front, he's really good at like managing the race, kind of. So he's really hard to like, it's really hard to pass him if he gets the whole shot or if he starts up front. But if he starts 5th, especially with this field right now,
It's gonna be tough.
I don't think he's just going to mow through everybody. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to work like that, especially in Supercross. So
Is that something you guys have conversations about? If you were racing against him, which you have raced, like, look, you better get out front. Whatever you have to do those first few laps, and I think Jet even knows that because he made such a lightning quick pass on Jason to not allow that to even happen.
yeah, that's, I mean, like you just kind of figure out how guys are, at least if you go into the season knowing, okay, this most likely is going to be between like championship guys are going to be between these guys, then you kind of study those specific guys, I guess. But like it's kind of sometimes every now and then it's hard to tell. Sometimes guys come out that you're not thinking, at least in the 250 class anyway. Usually the 450 class, usually who's going to be good and who isn't. But the 250 class, every now and then, like guys will come in, rookies will come in, or just guys that just coming off their rookie season or sophomore season or whatever, and then the next year they just figure it out. So sometimes it's hard to 250 class because there's new guys or guys that you don't really think are going to be good. It's hard, like you don't really know until you get into the season, so then you kind of have to figure it out from there, I guess. Like between rider, like competitor to competitor, I guess.
Yeah,
how they ride.
So you haven't really gotten a clean shot at a season in how long? Like it's been a minute since we've had a full Austin Forkner for all rounds of Supercross and outdoors.
It was 20. Well, I never have I made every race of every race of the year.
Dang.
But in 2020, I made every Supercross race other than, and I got hurt at the very last Supercross race. But since then, broke my collarbone in 2021. Got taken out by Jet and broke my collarbone again, and did my shoulder in 2022. And then last year I did my knee. So I haven't, but it's definitely been a minute. But
So knowing that, Austin, are you, like Cooper came in there, I think he was very pleased with his round one. And like you said, he normally takes a minute to get going. Is that a strategy? Just roll in there and say, let's just get through round one, or do you?
I will say, let me interrupt you, but last year he makes it 25 feet off the start and it's over. I'm
No,
like,
I know.
seriously.
Yeah, that one hurt. It hurt us, Austin. I know it hurt you, but like, I just wonder if it's better to go in there firing or go in there cautious. I don't really. I'm just asking because you would know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm this year I guess it's neither. I'm going in with that I need to ride like I know how to ride. If I ride like I've been riding these past couple weeks, and if I focus on me, then I'll be just fine.
Yes.
These past couple weeks have been really good. My bike right now is probably the best supercross bike I've ever ridden. I'm between Tony, Rhino, almost everybody on the team. I am the fastest they've ever seen me in whoops, which is good because that's been maybe a struggle area in the past. I'm the most just like, I guess, technique wise, the best I've looked. Just like everything is Bones came to the track the other day and he said that my flow is super, super good.
Yep.
So it doesn't even look like I'm going fast, but then my times are really good or whatever. So like, we're not even, I don't know.
You're not even time for your opener, right?
Yeah. The past couple weeks have just started to be really good. We found a good setting with the bike. I've just kind of, things have just been coming together, I guess, a little bit. So if things continue to go how they're going right now, I'll be just fine come race time. It doesn't matter. In my opinion, like just my confidence is coming up. Like everything is coming together really well. So I think this year should be a good year. Like, and more so like mindset wise, I think which obviously comes with confidence too. But like my mindset is really good going into this year. Like I said, I'm not riding because I'm like, I heard somebody the other day, they were like, or I saw somewhere there's two types of athletes. Either you're one that loves to win or you're one that hates to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to be neither of those, because either way, either one of those, you still have fear of what's going to happen if you don't win. If you hate to lose, then when you lose, like you still have fear of losing. If you have to win, then you have fear of when you're not winning.
Yeah.
And I am trying to just go in with just a super, super level mindset of not thinking about what could happen, what might happen, what has happened, just about what is happening right this instant,
Right
this
on.
whoop section, this turn, this, that, and just doing what I can on that lap.
Yep.
And then the next lap, and then the next lap. And so I'm trying to be super, super present as far as like just not because let's be honest, if I start thinking, and that's something I've noticed in my riding as of lately, if I start thinking at any point about the past, that shit's going to get scary real quick.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to start to get scared of, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do this. Don't do this. Has happened. I've crashed in just about every way, about every rhythm, and about every section, indoor and out, that you
Yeah.
can.
Right.
So if I start thinking about, oh, I need to be careful in this, if I need to be careful here, oh, it's the last lap, I need to, be careful. Like that just is not, it's just not what I need to be thinking about. You can only think about one thing at a time. That's proven, that your brain can only think about one thing. So I need to be thinking about what I'm doing in every specific moment.
Yeah.
Not about what has happened, not about what might happen, just about me and being focused. And that's what I've noticed lately in my riding is I've been super, super just focused. Like I'm not, thinking about okay, the whoops are getting chewed up. Oh, that was kind of sketchy last lap. I need to be careful. I need to slow down. No, it's just, okay, that happened last lap. Like, let's go in to the next lap with, okay, I need to be better technique wise. The bike wouldn't have happened if I was squeezing a little tighter. Let's squeeze a little tighter next lap, and then take the same line, and I'm perfect. So where in the past I would have been like, oh, that was and slowed down, or something like that, because then I start thinking. So I'm trying to not use my mind, basically, and just react and be reactive instead of proactive, basically.
Tell me about East Coast, West Coast.
Correct,
what were your thoughts on which coast did you want to ride? Were you healthy enough to ride West Coast? Did you want to ride East Coast? Did you have any input? How does that work?
Yeah, I didn't really have any input. Mitch, I didn't even talk to Mitch about what coast I was going to ride, really. I started riding Supercross.
Did you care? Like, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. I'm just here to race. Whatever you put me on, I'm going.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I knew that I could be ready by West Coast, but it was going to be cutting it a little bit tight. Like, if you would have asked me like 2 or 3 weeks ago if I would have been ready for East Coast, I would have been like, no. But we found a good setting with the bike. Things started to click with me. And then, like, I think that I could have raced last weekend and been just fine. But East Coast just gives me another month or whatever it is to get ready for that. So that's, it's even better. So, I didn't have any input really into that. I never even talked to Mitch about it. It was just I think it was just assumed that I would go east just because I started riding late. Usually on pro circuit, if you don't start riding, if you're had an injury or you're something's not right and you only start riding towards the end of November or mid-November, kind of like whenever I started riding, it's just kind of assumed that you'll be east. Unless you just immediately start riding really, really well, which I did, but I
yeah,
that's just I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of weird. You don't really know. You're just under the impression to be ready for Anaheim 1 in case you have to be.
yeah.
But this year, I guess I didn't have to be. Never really, it's funny. I never really got a confirmation that I wasn't racing anymore. That's what's funny.
That's
so
I never really
wild.
got like that.
They just never told you
really,
were.
What if you're just up there walking around the parking lot?
Hey, what are you doing, man? You're racing tonight.
Or they call you.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think it's more so that you don't get told you're not racing. You just get told if you are racing. So if you don't get a call that says, hey, you're racing Anaheim 1, then just assume I'm probably not racing Anaheim 1. Like, that's kind of just how it goes, I guess.
They're all standing around the pits like, anybody seen Austin?
He's got his bike here. What the hell? Did you call him? I thought you did.
I thought you called him. Shit, Austin, you got to get here. That's hilarious. Yeah. So, but it sounds like it's going to work out for you because, sounds like everything's falling into line and peaking at the right time for you.
Yeah, that's what I think anyway. And obviously we still have another 4 weeks or whatever until we go race, but either way, I think I'll be fine for this year. I think I'll be solid.
You talked a little bit about trying to be present in the lap or in the obstacle or in this straightaway. Is that a something you focused on before? Is some of that coming from Ryan Hughes?
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of it's coming from Rhino. That is what I haven't done in the past. I guess a lot of that, like that is where, like, I guess even the year that me and Jet got together, like, I had multiple people tell me, oh, you looked like you were riding well within your limits. You weren't pushing it. You look like you were riding, which in, if you think about it, oh, okay, you were trying to make the whole season. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then still, something kind of out of my control. But like that is what happens when you think like that. If you think like I'm just trying to make the whole season, then things like that can happen. Like then that, like, as far as just like if I like I guess the point is, if I ride like I know how to ride,
Yeah.
I'm fine. When I turn my brain off and get on a dirt bike and ride, I'm one of the best there is.
Yeah.
Like,
World-class
I
speed.
know that.
I would agree
And
with
a
that.
lot of people know that. Like, it's not really anything that anybody disagrees about.
Yeah.
I can be one of the best guys at any given point. I'm not saying every race, but at any given point, if I get a good start, if things line up right, I can win.
Yeah.
So why don't I just do that?
Well, you can even hear it in your,
ride my dirt bike, you know?
you can hear it in, in your voice. Like you've gotten to the point where, you can only do, you can't control anybody but yourself, and that's a good place to be, to know you just have to do you and do, be able to do that. It sounds like I love the fact that.
It sounds simple, but there's a lot in your head.
Correct.
And it's amazing. Like, he can have these thoughts at the speed he's operating a motorcycle,
Correct.
right? So
yeah.
I think, which Ryan Hughes is notorious for thinking of things in a different light than anyone else, or he thinks about things that no one else thinks about, or ways to think about things. I mean, it's pretty enlightening that you're approaching it with a new thought.
Well, it's got to help to have him and just be. Let me tell you, I watch his Instagram post sometimes. I'm like, dude, I think I just want to drive to the airport, fly out there, and hang out with Ryan Hughes.
Sit in the desert.
Just sit in the desert. Like, he's got such a good mindset about just.
He reduced a lot of bull that is in everyday life.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, that's it's just like that kind of thought process. It didn't happen. Like, Rhino can sit there and tell you all these things. He can sit there and tell you all of the a lot of the same stuff that he tells me every day that I ride. But until you do it, like, that's kind of the reason we started working together, was because, like, he can tell me all these things, but then I went out and did those things, and then I felt the difference. It's everything basically is just off of feel. How things feel. Why did you start riding a dirt bike? Because it was fun. Yeah. And where did you get that fun? Because it felt cool. Jumping feels cool. Hitting a turn feels cool. Like, whipping feels cool. That's everything is based off of feeling, basically. So he can tell me all these things, but whenever I go out and feel it, and just like recently, like, I've been so good in the whoops. We've been riding, pretty chewed up whoops, and when you hit them lap after lap after lap after lap, and you're more dialed than you've ever been, basically, and you're doing, things that Rhino's kind of explaining me, like, we've been working on, then it starts to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, these whoops are pretty chewed up. I'm watching guys go over the bars, and I'm just going, one of the fastest guys, 450 or 250 to hit these things today. So that you go off the feeling of what, feels good, even if it's not, 100% fast. Like, that's at the beginning, it wasn't 100% fast, but it felt good and in control, and I could do it every lap, and it was just, everything felt smooth. And then now, once you start adding speed to it, and that's exactly what we've been doing, is we started off, not trying to go super fast, and now lately we've started adding some speed to it. Or he hasn't even been adding. He's not like he's been saying, okay, we're gonna I don't care about technique today, just go faster. But I just started to go faster, and I started to, things started to come naturally that we've been working on. So I'm not just 100% of the time thinking about, technique or whatever we've been working on. So that stuff's starting to come naturally. And
sounds like you're having your Miyagi moment here.
Like, that's whenever speed comes in.
It's a Miyagi moment.
So
it's a Karate Kid Miyagi moment where you're like just sanding the floors, doing all this shit, and then finally he just comes punching you like 90 times, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
And you defend him successfully, and he knows. It does sound like that. I mean, he's describing it first. He has to think about it, and now it's just happening naturally. I mean, Austin, has there been something, though, that Rhino threw at you and you were
like,
just
getting this ice bath with me? I'm like, nah,
with
dude, this
me
is weird,
and,
dude.
And lock eyes with me. Hold me. I'm cold.
Rhino, that's where I draw the line.
I mean, to be honest,
he did that?
No, not. That's what I was about to say.
Not facing
really.
each other.
There hasn't been. like there's been certain things that like, Rhino does and I see and I'm like, hey, Rhino, you have like enjoy it. That looks really fun. I'm gonna
Enjoy yourself.
I'm gonna sit this one out,
Yes, I'll
I'm
be
gonna
over
sit this one
here.
out. And that's the thing about Rhino is he doesn't give a shit. He's
Oh,
like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this. If you want to come do it, I think it'll be a great time. If you don't, hey, that's fine.
well, that's
Like
cool.
that's Rhino. He doesn't care what people think.
I think
Like
it's
at
gonna be
all.
funny
Like
because
he's gonna do what he wants to do. If I want to join him and do it, like we've been doing yoga quite a bit lately together. And I mean, I've done yoga for a long time. I did yoga with Rob and stuff back in the day, so that's nothing new. But he's like, hey, I'm going to yoga. Just you can come if you want. If not, that's great too. Like Rhino is strictly my on the bike guy anyway. Like I have Charles Dow, who's my off the bike guy, and they know that. And Charles doesn't step on Rhino's toes. Like I go do my thing with Rhino, however long that takes. Charles isn't hitting me up. He says, call me when you're done at the track and we'll set up for the rest of the day. So they don't step on each other's toes. They're super respectful of each other. And I feel like that's another thing that I really just have solid this year. Not that I didn't have good people around me the past few years, but I just feel like the people I'm surrounding myself with right now are really
It's whatever
just
works for you, dude.
people.
Yeah.
It's
So-
what works for you. I imagine what when you call Mike Forkner and you tell him what you do, he goes, "What? What'd you do?" I just imagine your dad like, "Man, you just do curls, squats, and 50-minute
And haul
motos." You know what I
hay
mean? Like,
bales all day.
like my dad would be mind blown if I told him what riders do today.
Yeah.
Ride a 10 speed. What you talking about?
10
like, you
speed.
know what I mean?
I can picture
Yeah,
next
no.
time, like we see Ryan, he's gonna be like, Kevin, that was a really funny joke about the ice bath, but I've got to punch you in the face now.
Damn it!
Yes.
No,
And
you
they were
don't
gonna-
have to, Ryan. He goes, you can or you don't have to.
You don't
based on
have to
what-
join in and get your face
Yeah.
smashed. But I'm
You
going
don't have to
smash
join
it.
in, but I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna have
I gotta
to punch you. Come
I made a
on.
note to myself to punch you.
Whenever I
next
see you, I'll see him at Loretta's. I'll get beat up, I'm sure.
Yes.
Anyway, Austin, you can speak to about your dad and what he might think about. Does he just go, man, whatever works? If it works, the speed's there, the confidence, and the discipline, and all that, and whatever it is.
Yeah. Does your dad weigh in?
Yeah. I mean, I talked to my dad quite a bit. He hasn't seen me ride Supercross yet this year since I've been training with Rhino. I mean, other than the outdoor races and stuff, because I've been out here, so he hasn't seen me ride all that often. But I mean, if I come out and win the first race or whatever, then I don't think he would have a problem. That's the thing with my dad. My dad, he don't care what I'm doing. If I'm winning races, I can be eating cake every meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if I go out and win races, he does not care. He does not care. I can do whatever I want. If I'm winning races, that's not just how my dad's always been. It's like if I'm winning races, he don't care. Like I can do whatever I want. If I'm winning, that's just it's working. So, and that's what like Rhino. You would think like everybody's perception of Rhino when you hang out with him and you're with him almost every day, like everybody tells me the same thing about Rhino that they think about Rhino. And I'm like me, Riley, my best friend that was my best man, that's been my friend for years, that trained at Robbie's with me and everything. Like everybody says the same thing after they like spend days at the track with Rhino or like with us doing our program. They're all the same thing. Oh, like I didn't expect that from Rhino. I just didn't think that he was going to be like that.
Yeah.
And always in a good way.
Yeah.
There's nothing that like everybody just thinks Rhino's this just off the wall guy. And I get it. He posts some stuff on Instagram that makes you think that, but when you actually are with him, like it's not, he just doesn't give a shit. Like he'll post whatever he wants to on Instagram or whatever because
Right.
he just doesn't care.
I promise. I
People
want to
take
come out.
that
I want to
and
go
form
out
their
there,
own opinion.
stay for a week in the desert with Rhino, man, and just ride and just that
Yeah,
would be
that's really all we have to go on is the Instagram post. But I mean, there's no doubt he represented manufacturers and sponsors to the highest level.
Yeah.
Much like you, crazy fast on a motorcycle. So his attribute is that he looks at things, I think, a lot of times with a different angle. And I find it pretty encouraging, Austin, that you were with someone who's world renowned as well. And you thought, hey man, maybe this isn't working for me.
Hey, and what
you're
made
willing to make a change?
Yeah, what made you make that change from where you were? I mean, you kind of bounced around to a few different places, and a lot of people do that. Nobody that I'm aware of has stayed with one guy. Like, I mean, RC was without him for a long time, but you don't hear that very often where a guy just stays in one place and never branches out.
Yeah, well, basically, like Mitch had been kind of putting pressure on me for a few years to find, if I'm going to be in California, which he wanted me in California, that to find somebody other than Robbie, just so I can have, be hands-on at the track and stuff. And he was right. And I actually made attempts with other guys. I tried, like I went for I guess test days or whatever you want to call it with other trainers, and none really just didn't like what some were saying, like just didn't agree, or just not that just didn't really vibe.
Yeah.
And Rhino was not on my radar. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't even sure if Rhino fully trained guys. Like he just wasn't on my radar. And I ran into him at the first Paula Outdoors this year, and in the Fox Tower, I think, up top.
Yep.
And we just watched part of the race together, and we just got to talking about stuff, and I was explaining to him, we were just talking, and he was like, I think I can help you with some stuff. So I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I bet, a lot of people think they can help me with some stuff. Like
Right,
I have people messing me all the time, bro, if you, I just came out with this new drink. If you drink it, I swear you won't lose. I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. Like everybody says everybody knows what I need to do to not get hurt or to win races or to do this or to that. Everybody has their own opinion of what they think that I need to do. So I didn't really take that into, I was just like, okay. But then we started talking, and then he was like, you want to come out to my turn track and have a day and see if you like it? And if you do, maybe we can work together. And I was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? What's it going to hurt? I told Robbie, and he was like, yeah, for sure. Do it. Like, that's, like, I don't, he was like, I don't have a problem with that. You can, for sure, like, whatever. And I went out, and it was literally like a 30-second turn. It was more so like a figure eight. It was,
right.
I didn't expect that. But even on that track, like, I noticed some of the things he was talking about. And then I told him, I was like, hey, this went great, but I want to see how this transfers to a real track. So we went out to, like a HIA or some track the next day out here, and same thing. Had another good day. He had a good attitude. I brought Riley. I brought, I think, my best friend. I brought obviously Tony was there.
Was that intentional?
And I brought everybody out there to see to just be around him, because if anybody got a bad vibe or this or that, like I want the people that were in my circle, like Charles, Riley, Tony, like all those guys, I want their input too, because, I might go out and ride, and then he might sit back and be a completely different person talking to them versus how he talks to me, because he's trying to obviously win me over. He's trying to get me to work with him, whatever. And everything, nobody caught, Rhino is Rhino. He doesn't know how to be anything else other than himself, or anything. And everybody said the same thing. They were just like, Tony was like, I think that what he says he was like, I think he's good. And Tony was the same way. He was like, hey, Rhino. And I was like, yeah, and then afterwards he was like, yeah, he was like, honestly, I think it's a good idea. And I was like, okay, cool. So Charles and him already knew each other, so that worked really well. And me and Rob, Rob had no hard feelings. Like he knew that this was going to happen if I continued to live in California anyway, because he has kids in his facility and everything in Oklahoma. Right. He knows he can't be out here and work with me as much if I'm permanently out here, which right now I am. Yeah. He knows. Like I still talk to Rob all the time. Like I sent him a video of me riding just from yesterday and just asked him how I looked, and we just talked about that. So. I guess I'll talk to Rob and stuff. We're super cool. Rob's like partly a dad to me. We've been training with him forever.
The fact that you call him Rob, I've never heard anybody
call.
Hey, come on there, Rob. Everybody sit there, buddy.
That's just what all the
Robbie,
guys, all of us called him. Okay, so yeah, I guess his dad is Robert.
Yes, senior.
Or Rob Senior or whatever. He's Robbie. But we all just called him Rob. I don't know. I don't know who started calling him that. Probably somebody called him that as like a joke, and he probably was like, "Why'd you call me that?"
And so that then made it stick.
If anybody, oh yeah, that's how it was with Rob's. Like if anybody said anything, or if you were like, "Don't call me that," or that was the worst thing. You can't let anybody know that you don't like something
Yes,
or something's
do
like
not.
a weakness or something, because then you'll just get blown out for it or just get called it or whatever. So I'm guessing it was probably something like that.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know. I just know that everybody else called Rob. You know,
Rob.
I just started
Now we
calling him
know.
that too.
What's your
It
middle
just
name,
makes
Austin?
sense, I guess.
What's your middle name?
Everett. It's my Everett. It's my
Oh, that's
grandpa's
actually cooler
name.
than your first name. I can't
Like
bust you on that. Man.
Everett?
I was hoping it was like something dorky. I was
No.
like, Everett's badass too.
Is it Everett's or
Everett.
Everett?
Everett.
I guess it's Everett. I
Everett.
guess it's Everett.
Okay,
so
I
I
was
guess
thinking-
it's Everett.
Yeah.
But
Everett.
but,
You're from
kinda,
Oklahoma,
when you
so-
just
My
say
God,
it,
it's Everett over
yeah.
here. Austin
Yeah, I
Everett
mean,
Forkner's
yeah.
son, get in this house.
I mean, that sounds like my
Not the
mom or my
mighty
grandma.
nose.
Either one. Either one.
Pork
That's
rinds
whenever
is-
I would get in trouble. That's how it goes.
That's how it
We
works.
know how those nicknames stick. We've got a guy, his name rhymes with Kevin Kelly in our studio, and his nickname is Kevin KD80 Kelly.
Yeah, KD80 Kelly. Because you may not know this, Austin, but Kawasaki made a motorcycle called a KD80
For homosexuals. They made it
It was a gay
specifically
motorcycle.
for gay men.
And Kevin's family owned a Kawasaki dealership, and his dad gave the other two brothers
KXs.
sweet KX80s.
Brand new, off the showroom floor.
And some dude trades in this
Janky ass
KD80,
Hughes KD80 with no front number plate.
and that's what Kevin got.
Like, really? Like,
He got
I'm
the
still bitter about that bullshit. I'm
Are
serious.
you, oh, you're still bitter?
That is
We had no
why?
idea.
I like jumping shit. I like,
Yeah.
even though I can't do anything.
You
but
like having a chance.
Yes.
You don't have a chance on
no,
a KD80.
you're in a Caprice Classic trying to race it.
It's
Talladega,
like a 4
dude.
millimeter carburetor. It won't even let fuel. You could pour fuel from a
Look it up
straw.
if you get a minute. It's the gayest ass looking motorcycles ever made. It's a KD80.
So that's Kevin's.
We call
so
it
next time you see him, you can just call him KD80.
KD80 Kelly.
Yeah, I call it a
just
gay
makes
D80.
sense.
Yeah, it makes total
I
sense.
mean, it just makes sense. It just like this is just checking boxes. I mean, this is suspicion.
You're not
I've
even
had for a long
surprising
time.
us.
Suspicions he's had for a while.
This is just checking boxes. It's just like
Okay.
I mean, it's like that's why I probably don't sound surprised. It's because I'm not.
There you go.
No.
It just makes sense.
Oh, it's all
if
clear.
If his dad kind of got this, sense,
Then everybody
that
knows.
Hey, son,
It's
take this.
dad.
You know,
Your dad could
we think
sense
this
the
is what
gayness.
you need.
What?
Yeah, we think this is what you would like.
Yeah, son, enjoy this motorcycle. I
We
feel
got you a Fiero for your first car too. Enjoy that queer. Like that's what. Like seriously.
Why,
So
Dad?
the fact that Austin, like is there other people that in the pits right now? Like, oh yeah, we knew you were gay.
oh, I knew
Like,
you were
what?
a KD80.
What? This is all.
Wow, I'm looking at that thing. That thing is terrible.
It is.
Kevin says it's like a little kid. You gave him some construction paper and scissors and just said, cut out some shapes.
And
It's
draw
like
a
a
motorcycle.
motorcycle.
This is what horse
Yeah.
shit they would come up with. It's terrible.
It's the ugliest motorcycle ever. The tank and the seat combo are like
The
longer
tank
than
you could
the motorcycle.
when I go into the turn, I could slide up and over the bars because it's a straight ass
It
line
just kept
over the
going.
bars, over the
Yep.
gas cap. They're gay as hell.
You're gonna go to like Austin's gonna talk to everybody in the pits. Then you're gonna show up like with your wife, and you're gonna go
Whatever,
"Hey, this is-
whatever, bro.
you
we
know
know.
you paid her
Kevin,
to come.
this is my wife, and everybody's gonna be
Whatever.
like, really, Kevin?
Sure, buddy.
They'll be like, you had a KD80 as a child.
Ain't nobody with a KD80 ever got married ever.
They're gonna be like, your wife's way too pretty.
Try jumping
to
that shit. We owned a nice Kawasaki dealership.
Yeah, it
My
was like
brother
the number
was a
one in the
Team Green
Southeast.
rider. It was the number one in the nation. We sold more bikes
nation.
than anybody. My brother was on the first generation Team Green team. My other brother qualified for Supercrosses. Me, I'm on a KD ass 80. Like who?
Otherwise, he would have been a Supercross
no,
champion.
no, I would not have. But damn.
Yeah,
Like,
your dad.
Give me a shot.
your dad
That's like,
quilled.
here, let's go play baseball.
What if they had
you
a
don't get
gay
a glove,
MA?
queer. Like,
Instead
why?
of like the AMA, they had a gay MA, and like
Yes.
Kevin dominated the gay MA.
I was in a gay
Supercross
MA,
series.
and I go to Gay in the Dirt every year.
You were gay in the dirt Supercross
I
champion.
do Gay in the Dirt every year out in Glen
I'm
Helen.
a gay MA Supercross champion.
Is that the new class? Is that class?
Well,
Kevin, what you guys do?
Yes.
It's only for people who rode KD80s
Yeah,
as a
it's just
child.
apparently for gay.
Well, I mean, he would qualify then.
Yeah, he definitely
He would
qualified.
I got a winner's provisional, bitch. I'm going
That'd be
straight
like you're like
to the main.
Straight,
You guys-
straight to the man.
like if y'all played baseball and he's like, here's your nice carbon fiber bat. Here's your nice carbon fiber bat.
Here's your rubber bat queer.
Here's your
good luck.
Here's a 2x4.
yeah.
Here's your wiffle ball bat.
Yeah, play
luck.
with this wiffle ball bat, son. You stay over here with the girls.
Stop throwing so hard. God. God.
Scary.
Slow it down.
God, if Mike
You're gonna
Forkner heard
break my
this,
back.
Ow. Jumps is big out there. Y'all jump all these too? Good Lord, the hoopty-doos is big.
You sound like Tiger King when you talk like that.
oh, he's a little bit like that. Yeah, I hear. I'm picking it up.
Okay.
I will
with house
never
cats.
financially.
But with house
Another
cats.
box that just got checked. Another
Yes,
box.
there's
Yet
another one.
again.
Yeah,
Hey.
with house cats.
He's basically colored the whole page on you now.
There's a
'Cause,
lot of
he
boxes
checked
checked
it down.
tonight, bro.
Checked a lot
Yeah.
of boxes, dude.
Any of you guys listening to the show, if you ever
Yeah.
had a KD80, I've had guys hit me back up like I had one of them.
Hey man,
pieces
you're
of crap.
dogging these motorcycles out. I love mine.
I
Has
know
anybody
you do.
said that?
No, they've said they're gayer than hell too.
Oh, they all know they're gay.
Like, listen, this was Kawasaki's answer to the XR. No, it was not.
It was
the,
a terrible
The
answer.
XR is a man's bike. It's bitching. It's
It'll last forever.
It'll last forever.
You don't see KD80s anywhere.
no. These things are
No.
trash.
We did go to Vintage Days and we saw somebody on a green.
I was like, hey, look at that KD80, guys.
Boy, that sure
That's
is
nice.
thick.
He rode straight to Kevin. No, just like
His bike wouldn't turn.
He just
the
rode up
damn
to me and
thing
goes-
was like magnetized.
He came
towards
up to me
Kevin.
and skid. I goes, you have one of these back in the
Yeah.
day?
he came out with a power slide. Like,
Bet you want to get on here with
Come
me,
on, big
don't
boy,
you?
take a ride.
need a
Now,
ride?
I did have a friend. I've never told y'all this because it was embarrassing as hell. I had a KX80, but my neighbor had a green KD80. His name was Bo. And that damn thing, I was just like, now what's this bike for? What
Having sex with
what
other
is
guys.
this? Is this because it's
What
like
it's for.
it's
That's
so
what it's for.
confusing.
That's why it's so flat on top, dude. You can, there's,
You can stretch out and lay down.
I mean, I never did that, but
It's
I'm
for
telling
getting
you,
horizontal with men.
Did you?
why is there two kickstands on this thing?
Yeah.
It stands up under all situations.
Oh, it'll handle all the rocking you can throw at it.
Oh my god.
Welcome to my world, dude. I don't want to hear how bad you had it. I had a
Yeah,
gay
Austin,
D80.
you didn't ride a gay D80. You don't know.
Yeah, Rob.
You're right.
Hey, Rob isn't such a bad nickname.
After all, that's a pretty good
Yeah,
I'd run with that.
yeah, that's not bad. I would take Rob over that.
one. Hey,
for
what
sure.
was your first
Especially-
motorcycle? Speaking of,
Probably kick ass.
Just no, it's just a clapped out P-dub.
Oh, that's
from
fine.
somebody.
Still way
a
cooler.
clapped out P-dub.
More
smokes.
testosterone.
Then I got- Quickly after that, I got a KTM Junior
Okay.
50,
Massive
and
testosterone.
then after that, I think I got a 50 or a Cobra like.
So he was
or no, I got a
destined to be
Cobra.
That thing was
heterosexual.
impregnating all kinds of other motorcycles at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, he had
Yes,
fast
correct.
motorcycles.
The Cobra 50s at that point were like just untouchable.
Yeah.
Nothing. But now
Married.
the KTM's I think are pretty good, but back then like it was if you weren't on a Cobra, you were not doing anything basically.
For sure.
Yeah, when did you get your first like legit deal where your dad's like, finally, I ain't got to be at this damn farm for so damn long? Like, I mean, he was at that farm working his ass off all the time, but like there had to be a point where he's like, "Phew, the wallet can take a rest now. What point was that?
Well, I got a like sponsorship from Factory Cobra whenever I got on 65s. It wasn't like a, they would give me like a couple bikes a year or something. It wasn't. And I had a sponsorship from like MSR
Yep.
and some small companies like that. But the first one was obviously after I got one Loretta. So then I got sponsored by Team Green.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then
that.
I got like 5 bikes a year, and I don't think I got a salary immediately. Maybe if I did, it was real small, but I got paid bonuses from all the races or contingency at some races and then actual like bonuses at the big races. But it was pretty much probably whenever I was like my B year
Okay.
of like my B amateur year, whenever I signed my pro contract, that he was like, okay. And then he quit working at the farm. I think it was around then. And then he went to Robbie's to be my mechanic.
Okay.
So it was then up until then, he always worked at the farm. That he had to hire a mechanic once I got on big bikes, because then I actually needed to start like riding a little bit more once I got on big bikes, like more than just kind of up until that point. I mean, I was essentially like a weekend warrior. I would pretty much just go ride on the weekends, and
Wow.
I would go to ride a little bit, maybe Wednesday or something during the week, but it really wasn't like I wasn't riding every day or anything. I would ride a lot like before Loretta's or before Monster Cup or before that, but I wouldn't really ride all that much. But once I got on big bikes, he was like, yeah, we should probably start taking this a little more seriously now. So he had to hire me a mechanic.
Did
'cause
Mitch
he
take
couldn't.
that into consideration whenever he hired you? Because I know I've heard him talk about, and I know it was brought up about Ryan Dungey, how the upside of this guy, they're like, look, this guy lives in Minnesota. He rides about 1 month a year. And this is how good the guy is. So if you're that guy that's not training nearly as much, and they know this, and like, look at what he's doing just at this level.
Off of
what if we
riding
had
on
this guy
Wednesday.
3 days a week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. I'm not in those conversations with Mitch, but it definitely could have been that they. I mean, I think like I don't know,
dude. I
but
was announcing
there-
all your races. If you would have told me, hey man, I ride about once
I was
a week,
thinking about riding Wednesday.
I'd have been like, what? Like, because I'm down here near
Yeah.
MTF, and I'm like, no, dude, these dudes are riding 4 days a week. How are you doing this?
Yeah.
That would have blown my mind had I known you were only riding.
Up until I got on big bikes, I was pretty much like I would ride every weekend pretty much, and then like Wednesday I would ride. But other than that, I mean, we didn't have tracks that were the closest tracks were like 45 minutes away, so or an hour, and I couldn't drive, and he worked from
Y'all couldn't take a
8 to
section of that damn
6.
pee patch and carve out something in the
They
midst
didn't
of
own
your
the
Yeah,
farm.
Oh, it wasn't your farm.
I
Okay.
mean, we had a little track at one point, but it was nothing crazy, and then it just got grown up. But even then, like my dad didn't have time to keep
be
a track
working on it.
up. Yeah, he didn't have like he didn't have time for all of that. Like he barely had time to like keep my actual bikes and stuff. Like he was working, 8 to in the like crop seasons.
Yeah.
He was working from like 8 to like he wouldn't be home until I was like almost going to bed. Like they would be out late on those in the like crop seasons when they're either planting or when they're combining it. He was out late and up early, so he didn't have time to do anything like that. So I think he hired, like he would pay one of the workers from the farm to take me to go ride on Wednesdays. So he would pay this, he would say, okay, I'll pay whatever your rate is to work at the farm. I'll pay you to just take me and go up to ride at one of my buddy's houses that lived my best man, my roommate. He had a track at his place, up towards Kansas City. So
what crops did you guys focus on, and do you hate that now at this point? Hey, we got corn again. Well, guess what?
Corn sucks.
No, I love corn on the cob. That was my favorite thing that my grandma, everything my grandma makes is good. Either side of my family, because it's all fresh.
Yep.
Like literally they kill the animal, and I don't want to say you eat it that day, but it's within days that you're eating that animal.
Yeah.
So like it's as fresh as it gets. And then like in the corn on the cob like season, because she would plant her own like just like the big fields, like all that stuff, that's not like you don't eat any of that. A lot of that they either sell or they feed to the pigs or the cows or whatever. Like that's what they use a lot of that for. But my grandma had her own garden that she would grow green beans, corn on the cob, tomatoes, probably some sort of peppers, cucumbers, like just all different types of vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, everything like that she would grow herself. And then every morning during corn on the cob season, whenever all the guys would get there at like 7:30, work would start at 8 or whatever, there'd be a bucket full, like a skid steer bucket full of corn on the cob, but unshucked. So every morning for like during that season for like 30 minutes, me and the workers and grandma and grandpa, everybody would just be out there talking for like 30 minutes, just shucking corn. That's how every morning would start at the farm.
I
And then
thought
you
you were
would
going to
eat
say you
that
poured
corn that
butter in
day.
the
Like, I
bucket.
mean, they would store it, but like you would then get corn on the cob. So my grandma, she always had the best food.
God,
And
that
that's
sounds
kind of where
perfect.
I lived.
That does sound pretty
Can we
awesome.
come over there and eat
I would
sometime?
shuck corn. I remember doing that with shucking peas and doing all that junk with my parents.
Yeah, I would break green beans with
Yeah,
my grandma
breaking
too.
beans,
She'd
yeah.
always ask me to help break beans and do all that stuff. Along with like if I wanted to make any money, like working on the farm or whatever, I would go mow the yard. She would give me like $20 to mow all the yards around. I mean, it was a lot, but she
12
would
acres.
It's only
give me like
70
$20 to
acres.
mow all the yards around her like on the farm. And then what else would I do? I would scrape the shit basically of the pig pens.
Oh,
Like
hell.
you push it all. It was like a scraper, and you would scrape it all to the end. And at the end, it was like a
ditch or
drainage
something.
ditch, basically,
Yeah.
to drain off to the nearest, to the lagoon or whatever.
So Roman
Um,
aqueduct.
So I would get paid to do
Yeah.
that.
So you
and
shovel
I
it
would
into
help
the
my
county
dad
water
and stuff.
supply.
And all your friends would, let's go swim in that pond. Yeah, go ahead there,
Yeah,
big
y'all
guy.
hop in, dog. I'll be up here on top.
That's like that pond
Nah,
at
you
Loretta's
know.
that you see kids
You
in. I'm
know.
like, dude, don't get in
Nasty.
that. There's cows in that shit all
Yeah,
year
you-
long.
I mean, I would be more afraid to get into the pool than anything at Loretta's.
For sure. There's a
pool-
couple thousand
the pool's
bodies in that
deadly.
thing.
Oh yeah, that
like a
was
pool in
deadly.
Vegas.
Oh yeah, no way.
That is pretty gnarly.
I hated that.
I've never gotten in that
So-
pool.
I have.
I get in the creek only at the top.
Yeah, you get below West Kane, you're getting everything. That's
Yeah,
all
that's where we would always park. We would always park like kind of up, like right up towards the entrance.
upstream,
So
brother.
Upstream of West.
Yes,
Upstream of West Kane.
Upstream, everybody. Upstream from everybody.
That's
so,
a
yeah.
smart plan, Austin.
So Bucksnort Tavern
I mean,
is
especially West Kane. I
Especially.
would locate West Kane and be like, "Yep, I'm going way up,
Way north
Oh,
of
in case
that.
you decide to." Yeah,
In case
yeah,
the earth tilts on its axis and the water runs back
Yeah.
towards you. You got to be way upstream.
exactly.
Hey, were you at
Yeah,
Loretta's when
way
the tornado hit that night?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
That was
What
real
year?
deal.
What year was that?
I don't
Yeah, that was
I don't know. You could
that was
tell.
pretty sketchy.
Imagine being in your camper.
Well,
in a
everybody was
tornado.
in their camper.
That's what I'm saying.
We're
You're in
all
a
there.
camper and a tornado's
Yeah.
coming. Like,
I mean, you got
You're
no
screwed.
choice. Like
You are
that's
screwed.
you're there. Like if it hits you and a bunch of other people, you're going. Like that's just how it is. Like you didn't. I mean, it's not like none of us were like, oh, we're gonna go stay at a hotel tonight. No, it's just like, hey, let's hope it doesn't hit. I guess.
did
Like,
y'all
let's-
get in there and
let's
just
hope
run
it doesn't
tie
hit
downs
us.
over your body? Like, just strap yourself to the bed and be like, I don't care where this
I
damn
mean-
thing ends up.
You just go sit on your bike. That way, if you get up in the air, at least
ride
you can
it out,
land.
baby.
You can do a cross up if
Yeah.
it
Yeah, ride it out.
Rhino said just
Start that
stay
thing in the air.
loosen the hips, man.
You can just keep your hips un-
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep your hips unlocked, man.
Thanks,
Ride that
man.
thing
Rhino
out.
saved my
You
life.
can ride
man.
a tornado if your hips are unlocked.
Ride the tornado,
Yeah,
brother.
sir.
If you can ride a tornado,
Yep.
you can ride whoops.
Jesus, like
Yeah, that's-
dodgeball.
yeah.
Like
You
dodgeball.
can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Yeah, exactly. I got it. I got
Dude,
it.
we
I
were
got it.
we were there. I was in a golf cart. We were filming MX Sports Center. Me, Wygant, and Wes Williams or something. We were cruising through. We don't have no idea. People are. When I say people are running, and then out of nowhere you see Carrie Joe flash into our camera. She goes, "Get out of here!" She goes, "You get out of here!" Like we're what? She goes, "There is a tornado on the ground within a mile of us." So we flash up to the men's bathroom with 400 people in that
Hunker
center.
down on that skanked out floor.
Dude, there's
Oh,
400.
yeah.
We were all
We
in that
did
bitch.
that.
We were
We
drinking
did that.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to the one.
Near the showers or whatever.
Knowing there was no
Yeah,
tornado,
the
but
one,
Kevin's like, all the men.
right up by where like Thor would Thor.
That's,
and, like,
that's
the
exactly.
Suzuki, they were all
You were in
parked
the
there.
same
Yeah,
shower as
that-
I was.
Yeah,
You've been in the shower
I've been in the
KD80
shower with
All right,
Katie.
There's another box checked.
There you go. You've been in the same
Oh,
shower
no.
as me, weirdo.
I
But
don't want to. I don't want to check that box.
Don't-
Inadvertently, Austin has ridden a KD80.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
you took a ride on the KD80.
Oh,
But I remember
man.
drinking tequila in there. Like, well, this is how it's going to end. So
God,
I'm going
dog.
down. Me, Wycant, we were drinking. They were passing tequila.
We're
around
going
us.
to die.
It was
Everybody give me a
awesome.
shot. We're going to die.
Yes.
Now, everybody just ran into the men's bathroom. Kevin said, "Hey,
Finally,
hey,
my
hey.
dream is complete. Come on in, boys.
They're
I,
like, what-
I sit here every night and it never happens.
What do you mean? There's a tornado? A tornado?
Yeah, I'm not sure if my dad went in there. I'm pretty sure my dad was just like hard assed it out.
I'll fight
wait.
this son of a bitch
I'll
off.
wait.
I'm gonna stay and make sure that the tent, the camper, the tent thing, or whatever. I'm gonna make sure that doesn't get busted. And me and my mom was like, "I'm taking him. We're going to the bathrooms." And
I'll
like
see at your
I remember
funeral.
us running, but I don't know if my dad ever came down there. He just wrote it out. He didn't.
He was
care.
out there with
Like,
a
I mean,
shovel,
he's
like standing there. He was like Lieutenant Dan. in
Come
Forrest
on,
Gump.
you son of
Is
a
that
bitch.
all you got?
Like in Forrest Gump
yeah.
on the top of the boat. Come on,
Yeah,
you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That is great. That's
Yeah.
a good
That's
rep.
true
That was
story.
Mike.
That's funny. You can commiserate the story. Like, I was in that same deal as you were. We went just blew up there like this. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. No, there's no hiding
Yeah, that
spot.
was it. Like that was it. Yeah, I do remember that now, that we all went to the shower and then it kind of let up, or it kind of, I think, kind of cleared up a little bit. And we were like, all right, like, I guess
called
we'll
the
go
eye.
back now. But
The eye of
yeah,
the tornado. Well,
Yeah,
I
I had
didn't
to-
think about the tunnel of love. We all could have squished into that dumb hot thing, like right over the.
What's the tunnel of love?
The tunnel of love is the after you jump the finish line at Loretta's.
Oh, yeah, you
and
could have
then
got under there.
over
yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's about a 20-foot little tunnel there. You could
That'd
have.
probably be a pretty safe spot.
That would
Yeah.
be horrible. Like,
was that there then?
Tunnel's been there for years. Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, no, I remember racing it when it wasn't. It was like just some like
Pile of
like
dirt.
6-pack or whatever up front. But I think that was later than that.
I think it was
put that
there.
tunnel in already.
That probably would have been safer than the building the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my chances. I'm packed in there with a bunch of people. Maybe you go. I don't know.
I mean, I can just see it on the news like, yeah.
200 gay men died of shower. Like, why were they in there? Like, it's so weird.
Why were they all in the bathroom?
It's so
Like,
weird.
It hits one spot and it just happens. And then you'd have all
Just a bunch of gay naked guys
all the
flying
country,
around.
All the country people would be like, that's what they get.
That's
for
what
being
God does.
By God, wipe them out.
His wrath. He wrathed the
Natural
tornado
selection.
on them.
That's
Yeah.
bad off the rails. Hey, did you ever have tornadoes where you grew up?
Hell yes, he's in
I know he
tornado.
does.
Yeah.
I want to hear
Right,
if there's
yeah.
any stories
Good point.
about that.
Oh yeah.
It's probably why your
they were
dad was so
having a-
chill about him, by the way. These are weak ass
Yeah.
Tennessee
Sissy-ass
tornadoes.
tornado.
They ain't got no
Tennessee.
Kansas tornadoes.
Tornado.
Well, it was always like my dad was always just like, yeah, they say there's gonna be one, but there's not. Like it's whatever.
It's made
there-
a
About the
conspiracy.
only time I do remember there being one that was close was they were having my grandparents, they would have a pig sale like once a year they had like a little arena at their property and like little like just like some benches and some bleachers or whatever next to it, and you would go in and they had like hired an announcer or whatever that would just do like a pig sale and where you could just go buy pigs. And a bunch of people would come out, and it was that night that there was one like it's flat in Missouri, and we were on my grandparents' farm, and me and my like cousins and we were just jumping on the trampoline, riding scooters or whatever on the tennis court, and we were like, the wind started to pick up, and then like out in the distance, like we could see a tornado drop in one of the fields, and it was just like obviously shaking like you could see it pulling the stalks or the whatever it hit.
You hear the wind
dirt get picked
chimes?
up, and you're like, ooh, that's not good. And it wasn't coming towards us. It was going like, I guess it was north of us, and it was going like west to east. So it wasn't coming towards us. So that's why I don't even think they said anything at the pig show.
We
They
ain't
just
gonna
let it keep,
interrupt
they didn't
this
even like
damn pig
announce.
We
sale.
got
"Hey,
a
there's tornado."
200-pound
We could all,
pig. Yeah, they didn't even stop it.
yeah, they just kept it going. They didn't even.
Oh, it's going that way. Keep
I
it
really wanna
going.
hear
That
what
was the name of the
announcer
bar.
Sounded like
That was the name of the bar in our hometown, the pig sale.
it's the pig sale. I'm
Yeah.
going to the pig sale, baby.
And we also could get a 200-pound
Dang
pig.
it.
Listen, hit it.
I
It
think
don't work for me.
I
Oh,
think
it doesn't.
I think for you being from the plains though, Austin, you got to be prepared. The next time somebody asks you about tornadoes, you got to be all tough like your dad, and they say, "Well, did y'all have tornadoes really?" Be like, "How do you think we got to school?
Yeah.
We just rode a
We
tornado.
should ride one. We ain't
Uphill.
scared of
We
that.
went
So-
every
Wait.
morning. We went out, waited on the tornado. I rode
Got
that bitch
picked
to
up.
school. Yeah,
Hey, Ryan Hughes was driving it. Get off.
Uphill both ways
In the
snow
tornado.
and riding a tornado.
in the snow
Rhino's
tornado.
driving the tornado.
And Ryan
That's
Hughes
solid.
is driving.
Somebody can make a meme.
Well, I
of
mean, that happened a couple of years ago in Oklahoma, and their tornado sirens were going off, and Riley was freaking out because she's a California girl, and we were living in Oklahoma, and she was all freaking out, and I was like, no, we're fine. There's not. And Rob texted me and was like, the sirens were going off, and I was like, hey, are we good, do you think? And he was like, yeah, I think we're good. And
Good
Rob's
night.
lived in Oklahoma for a while, so I was just like, all right, Rob knows. And I
Well-
just took his word, and I was just like, yeah, I just
Rob
kept watching
knows.
TV or kept doing what I was doing. And Riley was like, don't we need to go get in the shelter? Because like we had one into our garage, and she was like freaking out, and I was just like, no, Rob says it's fine. She's
Rob-
like,
See, Rob
Rob
graduated
knows
from the
what's
Team
up.
Green
Fine.
Amateur
Yeah.
Meteorology
Yeah.
Department.
yeah, like Rob says
It was-
it's fine. Is Rob
gonna go
a
with Rob's-
weatherman? I was like, no, but it's fine.
Rob's forecast says we're
Yeah,
safe.
we're good, man. What-
I'm surprised that the sirens went off and you were like, "There's a tornado."
She's
She's like,
tornado,
"No,
I
I'm wait-"
guess.
She comes in there. She goes, "I'm waiting on an earthquake." This is your,
Why ain't the ground shaking yet?
Yeah,
They
so
said a
weird.
tornado.
the sirens are going off. We're supposed to have an earthquake.
Yeah, that's what. And she was freaking out, and I was like, no, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Like Rob says, it's fine.
Rob,
Dude,
she
I'm gonna
was,
call
like,
Rob.
she
next
was-
Raynard's.
Yeah, she was not happy. with
Rob, we
as
good?
far as just like, hey, and everything ended up fine. We didn't even get. There may have been one, but not by us. So we were fine. But
Rob's right.
yeah, I probably have
Yeah.
a little bit of my dad in me.
See, I just
Yeah.
want to make like
yeah, you're
T-shirts.
the same. Rob's right all the time.
I just
bro.
want to say T-shirts and be like Rob's Meteorology Department.
You're good.
And then the front would be like Rob's right.
He's
Yeah,
got
I-
Rob's with a thumbs up.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, Rob's right always.
you're on a cruise ship and it hits an iceberg. You just,
What do you think, Rob?
hold on, I got to call Rob, see if we're getting through this.
Are we gonna sink Rob?
You're
No,
good,
I
bro.
think you're good.
Everybody calm down. Rob says it's cool.
Rob, how's your shoulder?
No,
Are we
that's
good?
what he would do. He would just be like, I'd be like, dude, this boat's sinking. Like it's
No,
it's
you're good,
cold.
bro.
It's cold.
This water's
Get out
getting
here.
cold.
You're fine. It's an ice bath. You're good. You're
Titanic?
good.
Seriously?
Tough.
Yeah, we're ice bathing it.
Hey, we were
Simple.
at Ponca a few years
All right.
back, and I think Deegan, one of his first trips out there, and DeFrancisco, and all these kids from California are together. And dude, they had a tornado. It had to have been a half mile from the track at Ponca. And this one family, I was told the next day, they had their power pole. They were still hooked to power. Or their awning was out. They drove out the front gate with their little scooter dragging behind them,
Trying to outrun the tornado.
outrun the tornado, awning out on their RV. Said, "We're getting the hell out of this place."
Dragging the power cord with the,
power
awning
cord-
out, dude.
Yeah, they hooked it. They just
I
cranked it up
mean-
and said, "We're out of here."
They had to have clipped everything.
Everything on the way out.
I
mean,
got
they only
in my
made it
car
so
and drove
far,
away
obviously.
from a tornado one time when they came through a few years ago. Remember the tornadoes?
Yeah.
And that we looked on the news and it looked like it was coming right towards our neighborhood. And they go, it's moving at 35 miles an hour.
All right, my car goes 80.
I can easily go
I put
35.
everybody in the car. I was like, we're getting the hell out of here.
That's smart. I think that's what you should do. Get on the move, you
Yeah,
know?
Really.
Head on a swivel, dude. I ain't gonna take this. I'm not just gonna lay
not
down.
taking
I
this
do
laying
think
down.
that was the right move.
How would
You
Mike
know it's
Forkner
gonna
handle this?
hit
That's
you.
everything I'm gonna ask. How would Mike Forkner do this?
Well, and Rob.
And
Yeah.
Rob.
Yep.
That's your
Yep.
two go-tos.
Mike
right
and
there.
Rob. Yeah,
I got up and I
if
said-
they say it's fine, it's fine.
Where's the nearest bathroom full of men? We got to save ourselves.
Yes. Gotta find-
Yeah.
Well, you could be like, you could call Mike and Rob's decision-making services
Yeah, that's
and just be like, man, I got a problem here, Mike and Rob. What do y'all think? And then they'd tell you. you
Yeah.
know?
Everything's
I
gonna be all right.
recommend you go to a bathroom full of 200 men.
Yeah.
And they were
No, they
sweaty
would
as
not
hell in
recommend
there.
that
It was hotter than
ever.
shit in that
Ever.
thing.
Never recommend that.
No.
Yeah.
Do you remember sweating in there, Austin? Like it's hot.
Dude, it was packed with people. When I say
yeah.
if there was 300 people, there was 500 people. There was no room to stand. We were just passing tequila around.
Everybody starts.
Yeah.
Everybody
Swear to God,
starts.
I
It was
promise.
hot.
Everybody starts making
was hot 'cause it
confessions
was
to one
Loretta.
another about shit they've done.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey man, we're probably gonna die. I need
This
to
one
tell you
time-
something I did.
And then it goes past. It's like, I was just kidding about that, man. I was just kidding.
Yeah, when you live through the tornado, you know I was just pulling your chain.
Yeah, man.
bro.
I like girls, man. What's up?
the guys in there, Kevin. I've always found you so
I
attractive.
knew it.
that was just a tornado talking.
God dang it.
Not the tequila. That was a tornado talk.
Oh, jeez, man. That's
All
solid.
right, Austin. I think we should let you go, man. We've kind of hit
We've,
rock bottom with you. I
drugged
think.
him along. He's bouncing off the bottom, just hitting his head. And
What do you got planned for the rest of the night? A little dinner.
Yeah, probably dinner. I was thinking about going and seeing a movie. I just, for whatever reason, I got a craving for movie theater popcorn today.
heck yeah.
So-
Dude, I'm not mad at you.
Usually, I don't go to the movies unless I crave movie theater popcorn, and then I just
That's
find
your-
a movie to
Then
go
we'll
see.
see what
And
we're
I
then
gonna
can just
watch.
go watch a movie. Yeah, I'll just like, I'll go to that one, and we'll
That
go.
is
And
great.
Doesn't even matter.
My roommates are the same. Everybody just loves they have ices and movie theater popcorn. So
That is
we're just
classic. dude.
That is, hey, that's a good combo, man. You get you a damn cherry icy and some popcorn, all buttered up.
$100 later,
That
you're in
shit's
heaven.
on point. Yeah, it's only
Well,
150 bucks.
Here they have
For real.
popcorn buckets. You can buy the popcorn bucket for the year. So my daughter comes in the other day. She goes, "I've got to get to the movies. My popcorn bucket's going to expire." And I'm like, "What in the hell? Popcorn bucket?
Do
How
they
does
do
that
that
expire?"
out there in California? Like just unlimited popcorn?
No.
That's
What do
pretty
you think?
No,
not
I-
What do you
California.
think?
No,
Gas is like $18 to get. You think they give anything for
Hell
cheap
no.
out here?
Oh, we got popcorn for
Yeah.
the year. Yeah, it's $21,000. You
know
cool
what,
with that?
yeah.
California,
Yeah, there you go.
California, though, you think about it, like it's expensive and but it's just like living at a country club, though. Like you're just paying dues to live
Yeah.
in California for the weather and all. You know what I mean? Like
It's got good weather.
like
man.
if you, yeah. So I'm saying if you wanted to live like in a super nice country club here or Texas or Florida or wherever, you got to pay the dues.
Do
And-
you absolutely forget that humidity exists, Austin? Living
there.
in California, and then all of a sudden you come back east. And
My
you're
hair
like,
looks
"Oh,
terrible when
hell,
I go.
forgot about
the
that."
Mason-Dixon line. My hair just falls apart.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot different. It's mainly Riley. She's the one that more like I grew up there, so I'll never forget
So you don't
about
forget
that.
about
But,
it, yeah.
when y'all come to the
Yeah,
East Coast, John and I'll give her some tips. We battle.
We're
it
good
out.
with hair.
We're in
Yeah, we know
we're in the
about it.
best hair fight pretty constantly.
Great
I
hair.
just received a belt buckle that says Georgia Hair Hall of Fame.
Wow.
2023.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
But-
it's a big deal.
That was 23 and 24 is right
a
around the
new
corner.
year.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna. I mean,
These guys have great hair. I'm jealous. Y'all suck.
I think 23 was rigged, and we're gonna do something about
All
it. It's
Make it right in 24. Yeah,
make
I'm
it
with
right.
you.
24. Yeah.
Well,
I've already
Austin-
talked to the lady that cuts your hair about it.
Oh hell, it's on then. Hey, Austin. Well, hey man, for real, good luck on this coming year.
Yeah, have
dude.
some fun, dude.
I don't think anybody doubts that you have extreme world class speed, and we just want to see you ride your dirt bike.
I want to see you ride the whole year. Just
Yeah.
finish out the whole year,
Yep.
do your thing. Everything else will fall into place.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
this is the part where we start telling you
right.
what you need, like everybody else. We're going to tell you,
But man, you
let me
just
tell
finish
you
all
what
the
you need to
races.
do.
You know what you need,
Be
What you need
careful.
to do.
dude. So
One
next
down,
time,
5 up.
at your granny's on that
Start the
bucket of-
bike when the 2 cards up.
At
I
the,
don't know.
when the bucket of the skid steer bucket of corn is full,
That's
You
right.
need to have it shucked, and then just
Yep.
pour butter in it.
And then
And
build
just-
a fire under
and
it.
heat
Yeah,
it
put a
up.
fire under the bucket, and then
have
heat
5
the
gallons of
corn, and we'll
butter.
just all be like
This is the
eating
best day
that
of my
corn
life.
dipped in butter, dude.
On a skid steer,
Yep.
out of a skid steer.
God, that's making me want to go to the
Yep.
movies.
We got to go to the movies.
We're leaving here going
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
gonna.
movies,
I'm
too.
about to go. I think I'm about to go right now. Actually, yeah. I need to
Alright.
hang up. Sorry, guys. I gotta go.
He's got to go.
Buddy.
Emergency popcorn.
Best of luck to you, Austin. Have a
Yeah,
great year,
yeah.
buddy.
Now, we'll be calling you every
All right,
week from
thanks.
here on out for the
Every
rest
week,
of your life. to
ever.
Go through
Wonderful. I can't. Oh, I mean, with old KD80, I don't doubt that.
Exactly,
So I think he
exactly.
probably wants to talk to me a lot more now.
He's craving you.
Yeah, see you in the Ben's bathroom, buddy. See you, bud.
All right.
See you, man.
See you, Austin.
I love you.
He does love you. He does love you.
Dude, I love it, man. He understood
gets
a
it,
little
dude.
bit.
He gets it.
Yeah.
Funny kid.
We took him
Yeah.
off the rails.
He went.
We
with
went
us.
off a cliff.
He was in that damn
The
bathroom.
train
with us.
tracks were bent. I mean, we took him off the rails. That was gnarly. I mean, he went right with us. He didn't care.
So Clint Fowler can't
He's a
be
funny
on. He has the flu.
Okay.
He did hit me up.
Nobody's got
I'm
the
not
flu,
catching
man.
that,
It's
dude.
COVID, man. He's got
Nobody's
COVID.
got the flu.
That thing come
Nobody's
right
been
through
sick.
his
Well, he's got the
microphone.
stats to prove you otherwise.
No,
His
get you.
stats say he has the flu.
Dude,
Everybody's had the flu is what I'm joking.
If you-
we
yes.
missed a whole week. We haven't had the flu. Everybody around
Every
us
single person
God
had the
has
flu.
said.
dang.
Shut down work, shut
Everybody.
down
At the fire
houses,
stations,
Christmas.
everybody.
We
We're-
canceled Christmas because of it.
It's gnarly, man.
It is bad news.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I just I'm
I
just
got time
glad-
for one more beer, so
Well,
we'll just
that's
keep this party
exciting.
rolling.
Yeah, if Kevin's drinking, we're talking.
Yeah, yeah, one more beer.
You know how it is when you get up
Keep
here.
going.
I mean, how is things going in your new in your townhome? You know, you're having to live displaced
Yep.
because of your a house burned to the ground. I mean, what's it like? You're so used to having your spread, working Christina to the core out there cutting grass.
I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit.
She just took over the landscaping at the
Yes.
the place.
And it was great.
No, she
I loved having her doing all that.
Yeah, it was nice to be so busy, like just never a moment of rest for her.
Yeah, so now I'm at this townhouse and the next door neighbors ruined my Christmas dinner.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're thumping bass. Like seriously, I'm sharing walls on either side.
Oh,
So if you don't know, my house burnt down and now I'm having to live through the rebuild and getting displaced. Everything I own burned down. True story.
Yep.
Everything on my body is brand new except for the rubber. I'm still wearing the same rubber
Same
I was
one you
wearing
had on before.
November 17th. Just out of
That
sheer
was the day.
Yeah, it's
November-
the 18th it burnt down. I
But you
used
put
this
a rubber
rubber
on the 17th.
Yeah, and I'm still little
Well, that's good. I mean, yeah,
I mean, that's not surprising. They've made
They get
so
sweaty.
many.
they're
well,
really good at this
They've
point.
made so many advances.
They're multi-use.
They're like dirt bikes. They're all pretty good now. And
I got about 7
yeah. The quality,
the
man.
motos
You're
I have.
right.
The motos I
durability.
have on this.
A lot of motos.
You know, like there's a company that comes and services your filter.
Yes, and they'll still pressure check that thing. No, she's still holding air, sir.
They'll come service your
I
rubber.
believe it's
They'll
still
service your
within
rubber.
spec.
Hey, it's
in
been on there
spec.
so long when you take it off your penis and you go,
It's like gas.
No, you take it off and it goes.
gasp.
It goes.
and it's white. It's like
Yeah,
the
it's all
skin's
shriveled up,
all
like in the
shrivelly
water.
white. Like you've been at white
so
water
gross.
for too many hours.
But anyway, so my neighbor's been thumping music. It's so loud.
So like you're
Ruined
trying
my
to have
Christmas
Christmas
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah.
And what they just
I'm just
over
hearing Ludacris all night long.
there- yeah that's
Christmas Day.
yeah. So it ruined your Christmas,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody's faced with diversity and stuff in life, but you have moments where it's like clear on what caused it.
I know
know?
what it caused it.
I do too.
You
I
know what
think,
caused it.
yeah.
What
I
do
know
what do y'all
caused it.
think? I mean,
I think that it goes back to the KD80.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That
Listen.
caused his neighbors to be thumping. I mean, I see where I can understand
It's
how you
put me
got
in that
there.
position. You think my house caught fire randomly because I was on a KD80?
Yeah, because all the people with KXs, they still live in the same house.
That's right.
That's some
100%.
bullshit, man.
Do you,
That's some
they
bullshit.
still live in the same house.
So if you have a KX, let
You're
me
safe,
know.
dude. You leave the candle burning all night at your kitchen.
God
No
almighty.
problem, dude. If you had a KX,
if he would have been on with
Seriously?
if he'd been on with the stat tonight, he could have gave you that stat that 100%,
Yes, 100% of KX owners
of KX
have
owners
never
still
had a
own
house
their
burned
home.
down. Yeah.
yeah,
and 100% of KD owners
have all either died of AIDS,
Or
and if
their
you
house
happen to
burned down.
live through that fiery 80s and 90s,
And the
era.
discharge in the bathroom at Loretta's.
Yes.
If you lived through that, but so how would you deal with this moving forward? Like, okay, this guy's gonna be thumping.
I want to
every
buy a KX, like 5 of them. How do I
Yeah,
offset
you
the
just
KD8?
you just have to ride more. Riding more will erase that past.
That's 100%, Kevin. I feel like
Boom.
that's the only way to get this thumping to stop on Christmas dinners is
You
to
have to
ride
ride
more.
Ride more.
Yes. If you could just ride more.
Full circle.
Yes. If
ride
you
more.
could just ride more. It's very intense on that
You
music.
know, like the people, if they're trying to solve all these problems in the Middle East, and they drop
Just
those
ride dirt bikes, bro.
those leaflets
Ride
on
dirt
them.
bikes.
If they just drop dirt bikes, everybody'd get along.
100%.
That'd end all wars.
Yeah.
Do you think Middle East's problems were caused by like a rash sale of KD80s back a long time ago?
They were imitation
Good point.
KD80. So
Oh, that was even
That's
worse.
even worse.
it's
Yeah.
a lot worse. It's like
They
Chinese
were like, yes, Chinese
copy of
KD80s.
KD80.
The communist KD80.
Yeah, the commie D80.
Which, they have works editions on KTMs
Whoa.
and stuff.
The works
The
KD80. What did
had
that come with?
A communist KD80.
Yeah.
Like
with the-
oils and
No, it came with
rubbers and
like less
no.
freedoms.
They just had the sickle emblem on it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, it had that.
Yeah.
And it said less freedoms.
That's right.
Everybody's gonna share everything.
That's some bullshit.
That was the KD80
You look
mantra.
at it like you see those copy KD80s in the Philippines. There'll be like 9 people riding them.
A copy
whole
KD80,
family.
dude.
copy KD80, dude.
Yeah, a copy
Whoa.
KD80.
How do
with-
you get 9 people? That thing
9
had
people
no
like
guts.
goats.
Some balance, dude. They could be Supercross champions. You just don't even know. If you put 9 people on a motorcycle, you win a Supercross
And you ride
championship.
that off-road
Hey,
jump.
Could Cooper
they're
Webb
riding.
do that? Put,
No, I don't.
put 6
we
guys
may
on
be
that
shitting
star.
about
I'd like to
9,
see that.
But have you ever seen? There's a video of a dude riding up an off-road like.
Yeah, but
where the
he's got
road-
on flip-flops, dude, and
And
all
with-
toting all these
with-
people.
And he's
Yeah,
got life stresses.
He's got
like,
his
what are
whole
his
family
stressors?
on there. Like
Yes,
there's 4
that's his
of them.
daughter.
Yeah,
He
like
can't
his
put her
kids.
on the ground. He'll kill
And he's
her.
really not putting his feet down.
No.
They're just out.
He's just
But
riding.
flip-flops,
Yeah.
dog. What if you dab
Dude,
a
those
toe?
are and one flip flops that are 8 sizes too big. They don't fit that
starter
man.
shorts.
That were made.
And
They're not
and
even
UGA,
real. Those are copies
championship
as well.
shirt.
There's no chance that
Yeah,
he's
they're
got
not. They're
real
communist
starter
KD80s.
shorts. Or
Yeah, no, exactly.
They came from the same. They build the motorcycles in the starter shorts.
Those are
and flip-flops.
communist
Same
wheels.
line.
They're not
Same-
even circular.
Same place.
Yeah.
They're bumpy as hell.
Yeah, they're bumpy.
Wood wheels.
Yeah, they are. Man, I believe
Same
that.
wood that Washington's teeth were made out of. That's
That's wild, because those are old teeth.
Cherry
To
blossom.
just keep using wood.
Cherry
that
tree
old.
some
wood.
teeth.
George Washington. Y'all knew that the real story is he made his teeth from
Chopping
the
down
cherry
that wood.
That
tree.
cherry.
That
tree.
bullshit.
That's
Yeah.
why he had to
And he
cut it
chopped them
down.
down.
Yeah,
He's like, I need this wood.
Yeah.
yeah. He lied about it.
Dude, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, a man needs teeth. You
I'm
think Forkner's eating all that corn with them without
I'm good
teeth?
I'm good on history like that. Like I've got all kinds
You got
of
it all locked in. It's
true,
very
true,
accurate.
True facts.
I wanted
Very,
to
very
ask
accurate.
Austin if he just ever lays down in one of his grandma's rows and just pours salad dressing on the plants.
Just starts eating.
and
right
then
there.
just eat a salad with no fork, no hands. Just
Forkner teeth.
just Forkner teeth.
Hey, dude, I would love to just go for a week and just
Eat off their
Li-
farm.
No, just live with
Ryan
Rhino.
Hughes.
Oh,
For a
he
week.
would be. We're gonna eat
He would
at
be
Granny's
reverse
farm.
cowgirl in a cold bath, a plunge,
Face it.
whatever Ryan tells you at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, reverse, so it wouldn't be weird. That way you're not facing
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that would be weird. I
Yeah.
would do that too.
Like it's not weird anyway.
You know
Well,
what?
I mean, the reverse is cool. Straight up cowgirls face to face.
Freaking
Can't be doing
weird,
that.
dog.
That's gayer in hell. But you go reverse cowgirl.
I've
I mean-
seen on his videos on Instagram sometimes he has to kill a rattlesnake. Maybe he relocates it, but that makes me nervous. We're just sitting around out in the desert. I'm just sleeping in these open rooms. Is there not the chance that a rattlesnake
There-
could ease
sure,
on
for
in
sure.
there and you just get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and step on that thing?
I don't know, but I think a week out there would be a life-changing
Oh,
experience.
I'm with you.
I mean, if you make it, it'll
Yeah,
life
if you
change.
survive.
If you survive, you're a changed man.
And
if you die,
Just
you're dead or in
imagine the
hell.
hallucinations.
And your form would be a lot better on the motorcycle.
Yes.
That's the end goal there.
That would be the goal.
Hey, and all jokes aside, like Forkner looks good right now. Have you seen the videos?
Instagram fast, just
Well,
like Chad
he
Reed
can
said.
ride like crazy
Yeah.
though. Anyway,
He's
so
got mad skills. So.
yes, he's elite.
Yeah.
We're about to shut this down. You hear the music building up.
This song have an end, or is it just on a loop?
No, it never quits. If
Never.
it quits,
It's the end
It's
of
like
time.
the end of the-
It's the end of days.
when everybody's in the bathroom at Loretta's,
Never ends.
that means the tornado
Fun
hit.
never ends.